Welcome to Labatt Memorial Park. London Majors baseball here on Majors TV as the Kitchener Panthers and London Majors get set to do battle here in London. A rescheduled game from last night, just 24 hours ago, Dylan, as the Majors and the Panthers will finally get this game in.
Yeah, the weather wasn't too pretty last night and throughout the day yesterday, which led to today's game not getting played. Yesterday's game not getting played on time. It's been moved to today, and we're excited to bring you baseball. As you saw in the opening shot there, it is a beautiful day for baseball here at Labatt Park.
The sun is out as it has been since about 1 o'clock here in London, and the sun is shining. The field is in great condition, and the London Majors will look to try and keep on this hot start they've been off to start this season, Dylan. They've been on the road for the last couple games since we saw them in the home opener, but the bats have been going, and they've been keeping the runs coming here for London.
Absolutely, they have been. Now, there was supposed to be a game on Sunday, but that was rained out as well. We were supposed to see this high-flying offense sooner, but they scored 12 in the first game against Toronto. You saw that on Majors TV. They scored 16 against Welland, and then 7 against Brantford on Wednesday. They've scored 35 runs in 3 games, Noah, so that's an impressive number for the team, and they will look to keep that up here. They were shut out a little bit early on against Brantford in that game on Wednesday, but they were able to figure things out once the relief pitching came in, and they had success. They won the game 7-2.
Yeah, we're going to look at the London Majors lineup and talk about how good this team has been to start the season. You're going to see the averages on the screen there, down that right-hand column. This team has been hitting well, and it starts at the top of the lineup there.
Absolutely, it does. Chris McQueen leads off. He's hit 9th, he's hit 1st. He's been all over the lineup, but he's had success in every position. He walks a lot, he gets on base, and he's a huge asset for the Majors to have. Humberto Ruiz off to a high-flying start this season. Struggled a little bit early in the game against Brantford, but that happened to a lot of the Majors hitters. Figured things out. He's been a great bat for the team. Byron Reichstein hit 2 home runs in Welland. He was really one of the reasons that the Majors were able to put up so many runs on the board. He bats 3rd in right field. Cleveland Brownlee DHing, of course. Cleveland hit his first home run of the year in Welland. Josh Williams bats 5th. Williams has 7 RBI through 2 games played. He didn't play the game against Welland, only played Friday and then Wednesday. He's been huge to the Majors' offensive success. He's followed by Julian Johnson, Hayden Jaco, Keith Candell, who had 3 walks on Wednesday night, and Adam Philmon to round things out.
An electric London Majors lineup that has been off to one of the best starts that we've seen this team get off to in recent memory. Of course, they're looking to start the season with yet another win in a row, but this offense has been good. One thing that we haven't really highlighted a lot with all the runs coming across the plate is how well the London Majors pitching staff has done through the first 3 games of the season, holding their opponents to very low average, and of course the runs, they've been doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely, they have. The pitching staff has been fantastic. They've only actually used 4 pitchers this season, Noah. Owen Boone has started 2 games. Pedro De Los Santos started 1 against Welland. And then out of the bullpen, it's been Braden Farrington and Connor Ambrosio who have come out and shut things down once the starters were done. It's been impressive to see the pitching staff do what it's done. We talked about in the pregame of last week's game on Friday night that the pitching was a question mark. We knew they were going to be okay. We weren't sure how well they'd perform, and they've performed very well to start this season.
The Kitchener Panthers on the other side of things, we talk about the London Majors being off to a great start. The Panthers are just looking to get that start, Dylan. They were, of course, pushed back with their season because Kitchener-Waterloo region was only in Stage 1. They just moved to Stage 2, and now they're back up Stage 3 with the rest of the province. But they've been delayed getting on the field for practices, games, and now finally we get to see them get their first game in after a couple of rainouts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kitchener was a hot spot in the province of Ontario, so they were slower to move in to the reopening stages. That meant 2 extra weeks of practicing for them. They didn't get on the field, and then when they were supposed to on Thursday for their home opener, they got rained out. And then yesterday's game obviously was rained out as well, so they get started here tonight. On the screen there, you see their lineup. Leading off is Andy Leader. He is in center field. Lucas DeLuca bats 2nd at second base. Liam Wilson at first base. Elliot Curtis, one of the few guys who's actually seen live pitching in the past year, as he's been playing down in the States, bats cleanup at DH. Jet Jarvis batting 5th in left field. Evan Baptiste batting 6th, Ethan Baptiste in left field. Evan Sherman at shortstop batting 7th. Stephen Whalen batting 8th at third base, and then Dan Mahoney catching.
We'll talk about this Kitchener lineup throughout the course of the game because, like we've mentioned, they haven't seen live pitching a lot of these guys. They've been slow to get onto the field, very limited practices, and of course this their first game of the season. You got to wonder if we're going to see them take a few innings to get used to live pitching, get back into the swing of things. Don't make any mistake. These guys are great hitters. They're professional ball players. but it might take a little bit, and we'll see how the Panthers do here facing off against Pedro de los Santos.
Yeah, for sure. Pedro de los Santos in his last outing against Welland had more walks than strikeouts. He struggled a little bit with his command. That could have been nerves in his first game of the season and first with the new team. You see on your screen there, 3.86 walks per nine, 6.43 walks per nine, 3.86 strikeouts per nine. That walk number is a little elevated, and you'd like to see that come down, but I'm sure it will. He hit 3 batters as well because he just didn't have it that day in Welland. On the other side, Christian Hawk gets the start for Kitchener. 2-2 with a 6.80 ERA, 8.7 K per nine, 5.03 walks per nine. That is, of course, in 2019, since Kitchener has yet to play a game this season. Hawk is a talented arm as the ERA is elevated, but he's put up some great numbers in the past. He's a strong guy. He can put it past batters when he needs to.
Yeah, Christian Hawk, a guy that spent numerous years at Laurier University with the Golden Hawks there, leading them to some provincial championships, and a guy that the Panthers are going to rely on here this season, I think, a lot. I think he's going to be one of their guys in this year that they're going to look to get a lot of innings this year. We've talked to the Panthers pitching staff. We've talked to their coaches. We don't think he's going to go long today, Dylan. We're talking maybe 3-4 innings max if he's pitching well. Just get the first game under your belt.
Absolutely. They're trying to build guys up even to this point right now. So I think that we're going to see a lot of guys, or a lot of pitchers today, go a couple innings max. So the starting pitcher, Christian Hawk, is likely to go 3 or 4, like you mentioned. But in the future, Hawk is going to be a huge part of that pitching staff. For so many teams, import pitchers are relied upon year after year. That includes the majors, that includes the Panthers. This year they don't have that luxury, so a guy like Christian Hawk for the Kitchener Panthers is going to be huge. I expect him to be the ace of this staff, and that's why he's starting their first game of the season.
And of course, Hawk, like I said, he's a winner. Sometimes winning is contagious. You can bring that from Laurier, bring it over to the Panthers, see if you can continue the winning. You got to keep in mind, this guy's been on the Panthers for a few years now. He's been to the IBL finals. He knows what it takes to be on a successful ball club. He's going to try to get this team started out on the right foot this season. If he can give them 3-4 strong innings, that's all they're looking for.
For sure, and that experience winning is so huge. You talked about that experience at Laurier, but you mentioned the finals appearances for the Kitchener Panthers, where they did lose out to the Barrie Baycats year after year, but they've been there before. He's been there before. He can mentor these young pitchers that are on this staff this year due to COVID, where they maybe wouldn't have been normally, and he can help guide them to another finals berth this year. We're not really too sure what to expect from the Kitchener team, but it's been a lot of overachieving when it comes down to expectations for a lot of teams, offensively and pitching-wise, because they've got some talent in their local areas.
Dylan, we're the lone game in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. Of course, a couple of rainouts going on around the league, but the London Majors Kitchener Panthers, the only game that we get to see live tonight, and it's going to be an exciting one. I think these two ball clubs ready to go. The Majors, they're flying high right now. You can bet that the confidence and the swagger, if you will, in that clubhouse is the highest it's been in a little while with this fantastic start to the season.
I mean, how can it not be, Noah? You score 35 runs in 3 games, you're 3-0. You'd expect that swagger and that confidence to be high as the players take the field. They're going over ground rules now. I think the Majors have a lot of moxie going for them right now, and they're going to look to keep that up here tonight against Kitchener.
Dylan, we'll take it down to field level now as we get set for the anthems here at Labatt Memorial Park.
Tonight we have Adam Kleinjan with us. Adam's an 11-year-old singer and pitcher for the DKMB Rivercats. Adam's first appearance for the London Majors was in 2018 and is thrilled to be back on the field. Take it away, Adam.
Our home in nature's land.
excellent job, Adam Clanton. My Jen, excuse me. I'll get it right, don't worry about it. Tourism London would like to introduce the new Labatt Park Tours.
Well, the anthem's complete, and we are almost set and ready for baseball here at Labatt Memorial Park. Once again, welcome inside Labatt Park, Forks of the Thames in London. Gorgeous baseball weather, Dylan, as the sun is out. The sky is looking gorgeous, and we're ready for a great night of baseball here as the Panthers and Majors get set to do battle.
We sure are. The temperatures will drop a little bit as the night goes along, but it is a beautiful Labatt Park picture-perfect night here, and we're excited to bring you baseball. Obviously, we've had 2 games that we've missed now, Noah, because Sunday and then yesterday was supposed to be a ball game, so we're excited to be back at the ballpark bringing you baseball on Majors TV.
Yeah, don't you just hate when that happens? Rainouts.
Yeah, and back-to-back games, too. That's not great.
The London Majors, of course, sending out Pedro de los Santos to the mound here. He had a fantastic start his last time out, helping the Majors to a win, and he'll look to do the same here on Friday night. A good crowd here at Labatt Park. They raised the capacity over the last week up to 3,300. We're not at that tonight, but let's be real. It's a good crowd for London Majors here on a rainout Saturday night ball game, and they're going to be treated to a good one here tonight between the Panthers and the Majors.
They sure are. 2 very good ball clubs are going to be doing battle, and they're going to get a good ball game. But there is a pretty healthy crowd, despite the fact that it's not a sellout. The capacity has been increased, and it's good to see fans at the ballpark once again. We'd also, before we forget, like to give a shout-out to our colleague Eric Collins, who is celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday, Eric.
Didn't want to celebrate it with us here at the ballpark, but I can't really blame him. He's going to celebrate with his family at home here, and looks like De Los Santos is ready to go on the mound, and we're just about ready for baseball here at Labatt Park as Andy Leader will step in to lead things off here for the Majors, or for the Panthers, pardon me.
Leader, if you recall, if you were with us for the Legacy Classic last year, hit leadoff for Guelph in that game. Of course, he was with Guelph for the 1 game only. Guelph lost 3-1, but Leader went 1 for 5, had one of their 3 hits, I believe, that night. The Guelph bats were stifled in that game.
De Los Santos, and to the plate, it's going to miss high for ball 1 to start the ball game 1-0. 7:37, not bad, 2 minutes after scheduled first pitch, and we are underway here at Labatt. To the mound, this one now, over to third, picked up, and a strong throw across the diamond. Williams will make the grab in time, and a fairly quick out to start the ball game, 1 down.
We talked about Julian Johnson having a little experience over at third base, and we wondered how big of a factor that would be in the last game. It took a while for him to get tested, but tonight he can settle right in. I'm sure the nerves are still there, despite the fact that it's his 2nd game over at third base. I'm sure the nerves are still there, and it's nice that he gets the first at-bat to try and settle in.
And a good start for De Los Santos on the mound as well, getting that first out of the way, as this one in there for a strike. 0-1 here. The lefty to the plate once again will miss high, 1-1, evens the count up.
With De Los Santos having walked as many batters as he did in the last game, I'm going to be looking to see if his command has improved tonight.
1-1 pitch to DeLuca is going to miss, 2-1. De Los Santos not a hard-throwing lefty by any means, but will mix up those off-speed pitches and keep the hitters on their toes. The 2-1 now going to miss, 3-1 here. And the Panthers and DeLuca looking to get on base here with 1 gone.
DeLuca at Erie Community College, he had a .442 on-base percentage, so he does get on base frequently.
That 3-1 is there for a strike, moves it to a full count here. And DeLuca is going to have to battle on a full count now if he wants to find his way on bag. De Los Santos now, 3-2 to the plate. That one called strike 3 as he punches out DeLuca for the 2nd out here of the 1st inning.
You know, I'm sure that the Panthers got a scouting report before the game, Noah, that De Los Santos was wild in his first game against Welland. 5 walks, 3 hit batters. Right there, I think DeLuca was too patient. He should have been looking for a pitch to hit, especially in a full count, and he got one. It was right on the outside corner. Could have tried to shoot it the other way, have Julian Johnson try to make a play on it over at third base, or hit it into left field. He just watched it. It looked like he was looking for a walk in that at-bat. It winds up costing the Panthers, and now they're 2 outs.
2 gone here, and the Panthers looking to try and get something going in the top half of the 1st inning. De Los Santos looking to get the Majors on the bats here, as that one's there for a strike, 0-1.
Liam Wilson had a very good 2019 season, only played 15 games, but hit .436 in those games for the Panthers.
0-1 to Wilson up high as De Los Santos misses with the fastball. Hardly any wind here at Labatt Park tonight as the flag's not moving at all. We'll see if that comes into play later on and if the wind will pick up as this night goes on. 1-1 from De Los Santos is going to be there for a strike. Catches the outer part of the zone. 1-2. From the windup here, now leg kick delivery from De Los Santos. That one just missing off the plate, and he thought he got it there. Very similar to the pitch, at least in location off the plate, to the one he got the strikeout on.
Absolutely it was. No, it looks like he's trying to work that outer edge when it comes for the strikeout, and he nearly got it. It looked like an identical pitch on a different part of the plate, but doesn't get the call there.
2-2, De Los Santos now. This one popped up, will go up to the screen and out of play. We'll redo the 2-2.
For De Los Santos, you can't get too rattled out there on the mound. You saw that he was starting to walk off the field. He thought he had strike 3. Still got to attack a very good hitter in Liam Wilson.
2-2 to Wilson now. Off-speed pitch up high. Full count once again, so back-to-back full counts for the Panthers.
We saw this with Owen Boone last Friday night. He had a lot of full counts early on, but then he settled right in and was able to attack batters in a more efficient manner.
15th pitch of the inning here for De Los Santos will miss outside, and the Panthers will get a walk and a man on here with 2 gone in the top of the first.
I'm sure that's frustrating for Pedro De Los Santos out there on the mound, thinking he had strike 3 and he ends up walking the batter. He's got to refocus. It's Elliott Curtis at the plate. He's probably one of the better hitters for the Panthers because he's had reps in the past year, because he's been able to play. So he's got to come after a very good hitter in Elliott Curtis and try to retire the side.
Has the advantage here is the lefty on the mound. Looks over to one, comes to the plate. It's there for a strike against Curtis, 0-1. Not an overly big lead by Wilson at first. Just a step inside the cut on the grass. Off-speed pitch up high. 1-1.
Curtis played at the University of Kentucky in 2019 and 2020, where he hit .295 with a .359 on base.
Los Santos has a look, comes to the plate, missing 2-1 now.
Ideally, when it comes to on-base percentage, Noah, you want that OBP about 60 points higher than your batting average. That's considered average and to good in that category, and he's right there at 60 points above his average in his career at the University of Kentucky. Even higher than that in his brief stint with the Quebec Capitale earlier this year.
As you mentioned, one of the few guys to get swings so far this year. He'll take that pitch for a strike, 2-2. And a good spot for him to bat in this Panthers order in the cleanup spot here. A guy that's seen some live pitchers so far this year. He'll look to try and lead this offense. He's got a man on, 2 out, and a 2-2 count. To the plate, swung on, and that one is right through for an out. Tag with the ball from Jaco, and that'll do it for the top half of the first inning here. Panthers get a walk and no runs, and the Majors will go to the bats here in the bottom of the first.
Good inning there for Pedro De Los Santos. The command escaped him a little bit early on, but he was able to settle in and gets the strikeout of a very tough bat in this Panthers order, and Elliott Curtis to end the inning.
So the Panthers will take the field here, and the London Majors will look to try and get on the bats early here against the young, strong righty and Christian Hawk. Story time, Dylan. Me and Christian Hawk actually met for the first time back in 18 U-ball. We picked them up, took them to Quebec with us for the national tournament. He was a lot more quiet back then, although you can't blame him. You throw him onto a bus with a brand new team.
I would be quiet too, and I'm a talkative guy. You can attest to that.
Hawk, of course, 4 or 5 years at Laurier University, was the ace of that staff for a number of those years. And we'll look to see if he can be the ace of this Panthers staff to start this season.
In his time at Laurier, he did get some reps with the Panthers. Started his IBL career in 2016, actually, mainly as a reliever. In more recent seasons, and that includes 2019, he's been more of a starter, and that's what that's what the Panthers expect him to be this season. The front of their rotation, he had 12 games, 8 of them were starts in that 2019 campaign, where you saw his stats on the screen there. Career, he's 13-16 with a 5.11 ERA. 253 innings. So even when he was a reliever, he was still throwing multiple innings and was a key guy in that bullpen. No matter where you put him, he's going to be a good arm.
Yeah, the Panthers brought him over to kind of, I think, bolster that starting rotation, right? I mean, he was a reliever when he started, but that was over in Burlington with the Herd and the Bandits, but now he comes over to the Panthers. He's expected to be one of the guys here, and he'll have to face a tough London Majors lineup here to start the season. If you're looking to get the season under your belt with, a couple of easy innings, Dylan, this ain't going to be it for Hawk.
No, absolutely not. He's going to have to settle in very quickly because this Majors order gets on you. As soon as you get in, as soon as the top of the order, McQueen and Humberto Ruiz at the top today, both of those guys can get on base. And then you got the power bats. It's full of guys that can produce offensively and can do things on the base path, so Hawk is going to have to be ready.
So McQueen steps in here to lead the game off. He bat in the 9-hole in the home opener for the Majors and has been at the top of the order as well, and he'll be in that spot tonight. As Hawk goes into his delivery, first pitch is going to be inside to McQueen, 1-0. Only one speed guy missing from the Majors lineup tonight, Carlos Artiaga. Not in the lineup, not here for the Majors tonight. 1-0, McQueen squares around, pulls back, but it's there anyways, 1-1.
I think that was just to get the defense moving. Didn't really look like he even attempted at that ball, just moved the hands, see what would happen, and he got to see how the infielders crashed.
So Hawk now with the 1-1. McQueen in his slouch stance to the plate. That's inside, but called a strike as it catches the inside part of the plate, 1-2.
McQueen has as many walks as he does hits this season. He's 3 for 7 to start the year and has 3 walks as well.
McQueen will look in here. Has to stay alive on 1-2. Hawk to the plate. McQueen chops at that one right back to the mound, and Hawk will shove it over to first in time for the first out. One gone here in the bottom half of the first.
If Hawk was nervous, he was tested right away with a ball defensively, a ground ball right back at him, and he had to make the play on it. Did a good job. Took his time and threw the runner out at first base, Chris McQueen. Oftentimes we actually see pitchers mess up that throw because they're so locked into the plate, and then as soon as it becomes a different throw over to first base, that can cause some trouble. Nothing right there for Hawk.
As a pitcher, that's one you want to start the game. It's not hard back at you. Nice, easy into the glove, and make sure the throw is on the money to first as he did to get the first out. And now he'll face Humberto Ruiz with one gone as it's there for a strike. 0-1 here to the Majors' number 2 hitter.
Ruiz hitting 500 on the year, as you saw when we showed you the lineup. He's got a triple and a stolen base as well so far this year.
Hawk looks in, grabs his sign. Now 0-1 to the plate outside. Ruiz will have an even count at 1-1.
You know, in talking to Rube Trinidad before the season about Humberto coming back to the Majors, he was very optimistic for his return to the lineup. He thought he was going to be a big piece of this batting order, and sure enough, he has been hitting 500 to start the year, and he's looking to keep that momentum going against Kitchener.
1-1, Ruiz swings and goes right through that one, 1-2, and Hawk has himself another favorable count here against the top of the Majors order.
Looked like he was sitting fastball there and did not get one from Hawk. Threw him an off-speed pitch, and Humberto just swung right through it.
So Ruiz will dig in here on 1-2. Hawk now, leg kick and delivery to the plate. This one swung on, fouled off back to the screen. Interesting for Christian Hawk. He's not a guy that works from the windup. We'll see that throughout the course of this ball game that he pitches.
A lot of pitchers are like that now. A lot of relievers first were no windup, and now starting pitchers have started to adapt to that as well.
1-2 here. Hawk to the plate. This one hit on the ground, second base on a hop. Shovels it over to first in time, and there's quickly 2 gone here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Looked like Ruiz hit that pretty hard to Lucas DeLuca over at second base, but he was able to scoop the short hop and fire it over to first for the second out of the inning. So now the on-base guys haven't gotten on base. It's up to the power guys to make something happen.
Now a big bat for the Majors, and Byron Reichstein will lead. Get ready to go and start this ball game. His first at-bat. A couple of home runs for him on the road in Welland, a ballpark that is notoriously a pitcher's park, but the Majors have had good success there over the last couple of seasons. Reichstein no exception last week.
Yeah, Byron and Cleveland have had great success in Welland, hitting home runs. Both of them pull it. You can't really put it out to center field. It's very tough to do. Reichstein with 2 on Saturday.
0-1 now, off-speed pitch outside. Reichstein thought about it, but was able to hold off.
Looked like that's the first time we've seen a breaking ball from Christian Hawk so far in this game. I'm interested to see how often he uses it as the game progresses.
I think we'll see it a fair amount throughout the middle of the order. You got to keep in mind he's only going to go 3, maybe 4 innings, so he'll use it a fair amount early on first time through the order.
Just trying to keep guys off balance, right? And with the power bats the Majors have, it's something that's important to do.
2-1 now. Hawk grabs his sign and from a stretch now gets ready to go. 2-1 pitch to the plate. This one called strike on Reichstein, 2-2. Twos across the board. 2-2 count, 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Hawk now delivery to the plate. This one outside to Reichstein. Will run the count full.
Good patience being shown here from Byron Reichstein. Looks like some Majors batters are very patient with Christian Hawk. It's been a while since they've seen him, right? It's been a couple of years, so they want to know if he's featuring anything new, and they just want to see what he's got, and Byron now into a full count.
Full count here to the Majors 3-hitter. Pitch to the plate. Reichstein hits that one in the air to right. Drifting back, couple steps in front of the track, and there to make the grab and end this first inning. No runs, no hit for the Majors in the bottom half of the first. We'll go to the second with the Majors and Panthers tied at none.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
The chiropractor of the London Majors to the game tonight. To book an appointment with Dr. Alex Wilson, please visit shtherapy.com.
Welcome back inside Labatt Park here. No score through one inning. Both pitchers getting to a couple full counts, Dylan, and able to get out of it there. And De Los Santos will get ready to come back here for the top of the second inning. He's at 20 pitches through one. Not alarming for the London Majors, but you need to have him a couple quick innings here in 2 and 3.
Absolutely. You'd like to do that if you're Pedro De Los Santos and you want to pitch deep into this ball game. He threw over 100 pitches in his last outing against the Welland Jackfish, so he can go pretty high when it comes to pitch count, but obviously you'd like to keep it as low as possible if you want him to go deep into this ball game.
So De Los Santos will get ready here and face the heart of the Panthers order with no score on the board here in the top of the second inning. Sun's gone behind the grandstand a little bit here. It's still a little bit of a problem out in center field, as that one's going to miss as well, 2-0.
Yeah, in center field and left field, it looks like a little bit for Humberto Ruiz that could cause some problems.
De Los Santos ready on 2-0. This one called a strike, 2-1. Working from the windup here and to the plate once again, 3-1. So he falls behind the leadoff man here in the inning. Have to come right at Jarvis to lead things off. That one going to miss up high. And a leadoff walk here for the Panthers in the top half of the second, as Jarvis will reach.
Not an ideal start if you're Pedro De Los Santos to this inning. We talked about wanting a quicker inning, and he didn't get one there. Or didn't get a quick start to the inning, I should say. We'll see how he pitches out of the stretch against the number 6 hitter here, Ethan Baptiste, who is the left fielder in the ballgame for the Panthers, but now he's got to hold Jarvis on at first. Jet Jarvis does have speed. Noah, you and I have seen him play for the Great Lake Canadians. We'll see if he uses it here against De Los Santos.
This one hit into right field to get down in front of Reichstein. The Panthers will just go station to station here, and they're in business to start the top half of the second.
Yeah, with a guy who's got an arm like Byron Reichstein, you can't really move up 2 bases there if you are Jet Jarvis, despite the speed that he does have. So a really good start for the Panthers in this inning, having 2 guys on, and now Sherman has an opportunity to drive a run home with Jarvis at second. Smart move by third base coach and manager Don Menard not sending Jarvis.
So a couple guys on here. We'll put De Los Santos in A little bit of trouble to start this second inning. First pitch going to miss low, 1-0.
De Los Santos likes to work the off-speed. Doesn't have an overpowering fastball, so he's been using a lot of off-speed pitches so far. Hasn't quite been able to find the strike zone.
Sherman finds himself in a good spot here for the Panthers, looking to try and at least advance those runners, if not bring them in here with nobody in. Once again missing from De Los Santos, 2-0.
Yeah, De Los Santos has to come back with a strike, and if you're Sherman, you got to capitalize on that. You know he has to throw you a strike if he wants a shot at coming after you in this at-bat, so you got to be ready for it.
2-0 now. That one there for a strike. Jango had trouble with it behind the dish, but it's 2-1.
Oftentimes when a catcher drops a ball like that, you will see that the umpire won't give them the call, but Jaco and De Los Santos get one despite the fact that he dropped the ball.
Majors infield looking to try and turn two if they can. Johnson close to the line at third, middle playing tight, as that one's there for a strike, and now it's 2-2 here on Sherman.
Good job by De Los Santos fighting back in this count. It's easy to get on yourself a little bit when you're down 2-0 after you walked a guy earlier in the inning and you're in trouble, but he's been able to work right back in this count.
Has a quick look, comes to the plate here. Off-speed pitch called strike three. As he drops it in there, and that's going to be a huge first out here for De Los Santos.
It looked to me, Noah, like Sherman was looking for one pitch that whole at-bat after he got ahead 2-0, and he didn't get it from De Los Santos. So good sequencing there from De Los Santos and Jaco avoiding the pitch that Sherman was looking for. And now they have a crucial first out. A ground ball here is likely a double play with Stephen Whalen coming up to the plate. We'll see how De Los Santos attacks.
Dos Santos just a ground ball from getting out of this inning is the first pitch called a strike here. Whalen looking to try and keep the line moving for Kitchener. Another one. Fifth straight strike for De Los Santos, and it's 0-2.
You know, after De Los Santos walked the batter and walked a couple in the first inning, or walked one, I should say, it's really good to see that he's attacked this batter with strikes. If you can get ahead with strikes consistently, you're going to have success. De Los Santos just needs to do more of that to keep that pitch count low.
0-2 here. De Los Santos to the plate inside. 1-2. He walked the leadoff man, then the surrender to hit to right. Fell behind 2-0, and at that point, Dylan, you got no choice but to come right at guys, and he's done nothing but that in the 6 pitches since.
Absolutely. He's done a very good job coming right after falling behind.
Checks on 2, now comes to the plate. This one hit in the air to left field. Coming in and making the grab is Ruiz. And now 2 gone for the Pinstripes here in the second inning.
You know, it hasn't really been hard contact, Noah, and that's exactly what a guy like De Los Santos wants to see. He uses a lot of off-speed. We've talked about it. If he can keep it to soft contact for the Panthers, he's going to have success. Right there, I wasn't sure if that ball was going to drop in front of Humberto Ruiz or not because it was hit so softly. Luckily for the Majors, Ruiz was able to come in and make that catch. Despite the fact that there are 2 runners on, and he struggled with his command a little bit early on, I've liked what I've seen from De Los Santos.
This one hit on the ground. It's McQueen at second. Takes it, throws it over to first, and Pedro De Los Santos works out of danger here in the second inning after surrendering a leadoff walk and a base hit. Gets the next 3 batters in order to retire the Panthers.
De Los Santos, when you see him, when you talk to him, he's a very calm guy, and I assume that calmness is applied when he's pitching as well. Got into a really tough spot there. 2 runners on, not ideal if you're him. 2 runners on with nobody out, I should add, but he was able to work out of it. A strikeout, a soft line out, and then a ground out there to end the inning. So good job by De Los Santos fighting back after allowing those first 2 runners to get on base.
And the biggest thing he changed was his approach. He came right at the next 3 guys, and you can see the difference in the results of the at-bats. He came right at the guys, didn't fall behind early, and was just throwing the pitches that he wanted to pitch. Got 3 straight outs, and now the Majors are back on the bats here.
Yet I understand the need to be cautious for a guy like De Los Santos who doesn't throw overly hard, but at the same time he does have very good stuff. He needs to come after those hitters, and once he started doing that, he began having success.
Just the 1 hit for the Panthers through 2 innings. As we move on to the bottom of the second, the London Majors will be led off by Cleveland Brownlee. Cleveland double-digit home runs in the last couple of seasons, and he had his first of the year in Welland Absolute moonshot, Dylan.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland got all of that baseball. You can see it on all Majors' social media pages. He hit that one hard, and it was long gone for the team. He'll be followed by Josh Williams and Julian Johnson. Williams has probably had the best start this season out of any Major. He had that big home run against Toronto, and then a bases-clearing go-ahead double against Brantford on Wednesday. He's hitting fifth right behind Cleveland tonight.
Middle of the London Majors order, a couple of power bats before they move back into the bottom of the order and some speed. So we'll see if these guys can get on or maybe even do some damage with the bases empty in the bottom half of the second inning.
They've always got the ability to put one out if they need to, and we'll see if that happens here. I know the home crowd would enjoy it to see Cleveland's first home run of the season.
Leading off for your Majors, the designated hitter, number 35, Cleveland Brownlee.
Doesn't get much better than that as the home crowd welcomes in Cleveland Brownlee, his first at-bat of the game here in the bottom of the second inning. We mentioned the crowd, although capacity expanded to 3,300, I would say we're just about where we were, if not a little bit more than the home opener, Dylan.
Yeah, it does look like we have a few more fans, or quite a few, I should say, than we did in the home opener, but not a sellout crowd tonight.
First pitch swung right through by Brownlee as the fastball upstairs, awfully appetizing. It's 0-1.
It doesn't matter how many we have here. Majors fans will always be excited to see Cleveland Brownlee step up to the plate, and that's the case once again tonight.
Hawks ahead early here on the London Majors slugger Cleveland Brownlee, and now Brownlee's going to pop this one up sky high out into shallow center field. Converging, and it's going to be the second baseman making the grab there. One gone.
That ball was hit way up in the air. Cleveland definitely got under that pitch, and I was beginning to wonder who was going to make that play, whether it was going to be the center fielder leader or Sherman at shortstop, but it was Lucas DeLuca who made that play over at second base to retire Cleveland.
So Josh Williams now will step up to the plate. One gone in the bottom of the second inning. Deposited a ball just in front of the scoreboard in right center field 8 days ago in the London Majors home opener. And, of course, Dylan, you mentioned that bases clearing double Wednesday night in Brantford. He's going to ground this one over to first on the first pitch. Taking himself there, now two gone quickly here in the bottom of the second.
You know, despite the hype that home run brought on Friday night last week, I would argue that the double was a bigger hit because the Majors did have quite a large lead at the time against Toronto, although I think it did make it 5-0, so maybe it was a big hit, but the bases clearing double that gave the Majors the lead after the bats were struggling to start the game against Brantford's starter. That was huge from Williams, and it shows just how clutch he is.
Julian Johnson now, the Majors' third baseman, getting set with two gone in the bottom of the second. Hawk getting ready to face him. That one just off the plate, 1-0. You can see him ask the home plate umpire there if that one was a little bit outside, and both of them nodding in agreement. Hawk grabs his sign once again from the stretch. That one missing low. Off-speed pitch in the dirt, 2-0.
Johnson with 6 strikeouts so far this season, but also 3 walks. He is a pretty patient guy at the plate. He will take his walks when they're given to him, but he does strike out a fair amount as well.
Got a 2-0 count here with 2 gone. Hawk to the plate now. That one pounded into the zone. 2-1 here.
Hawk kind of fooled around, you could say, with those first 2 pitches, threw him an off-speed, trying to get a swing and a miss. 2-0, you can't do that. Throws him a hard fastball right in the strike zone.
Now 2-1. Swung on and missed there by Johnson. Got fooled on that pitch. It's 2-2.
Good pitch there from Hawk on the off-speed. Got inside on Julian Johnson, and he swung and missed. Didn't look like it was a very comfortable swing for him at the plate either.
2-2. Hawk now ready to work here as the sign leg kick delivery outside. And now Johnson, who you mentioned, very patient at the plate, will have himself a full count. Although he's got to protect here. He's not going to swing at anything remotely outside.
He's got to make sure it's in the strike zone if he's going to go after it.
3-2 here. Hawk, leg kick to the plate. This one called strike 3. Looked up in the zone, but Hawk gets the strikeout. Johnson down on strikes. And the Panthers will get through the bottom of the second inning. 1-2-3 as we head to the third here Majors, Panthers tied at 0. You're watching London Majors baseball here on Majors TV.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
No score here at Labatt Park as the Majors and Panthers getting this game in after the rain out last night. Dylan, Mother Nature so far this year has not been kind to the IBL. We've seen a number of rainouts, and finally the Kitchener Panthers able to get their first game of the season in, and it was a gorgeous night to do it.
I know a lot of the Panthers players were very, very excited to get their first game of the season in on Thursday. That, of course, did not happen due to the rain. We've had a lot of rainouts in the IBL so far this year. Some warmer temperatures, some sunny days early in the year in May, which is when the IBL would normally start their season, and then a lot of rain here in July so far. It's not been ideal for the Intercounty Baseball League, but they've had to deal with it, and they've made do. I think we've had a couple of makeup games so far. This one's a makeup game, and I believe Toronto and Hamilton played this Wednesday, making up for that Wednesday game that was missed last week.
So it's back to the top of the order here for Kitchener. Andy Leader to lead things off. This one hit high in the air. McQueen's going to take a couple of steps back onto the outfield grass into right and able to make the catch there. So a very quick out, just what you need for De Los Santos.
Absolutely it is. No, De Los Santos did a good job coming after Leader there. I find he was throwing a lot of off-speed pitches out of the zone right there. It looked like it was an off-speed, but it was in the zone. It was enough to tempt Leader to go after that pitch, popped it up, and McQueen ranged into right field to make that play.
First pitch outside, called a strike. 0-1 here is Lucas DeLuca coming back into the game. DeLuca, pardon me. De Los Santos right at him, but that one's going to miss upstairs. 1-1.
Home plate umpire has been favorable to pitchers with those outside corners for the most part, despite that one strike three call that De Los Santos did not get earlier in the game.
That one's there for a strike, 1-2. Consistency, the big thing there. De Los Santos, I don't think, is going to have any complaints with how the zone's being called through the first 2 innings. 1-2. This one just going to miss low. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I don't think De Los Santos has any complaints. It looks like, he may have given that call back, the one that he didn't call originally on the outside corner. As long as the home plate umpire is consistent, he's doing his job.
This one fouled off. It will get out of play into the parking lot over top of the third base grandstand. 2-2 once more here from Pedro De Los Santos. He's at 42 pitches so far in the ball game. This one hit on the ground. Candell over at short will take it on a hop. Strong throw across the diamond in time. Williams with the stretch, and now 2 gone.
It looked like it might have been the hardest hit ball of the ball game so far for the Kitchener Panthers. For the most part, De Los Santos has been keeping the guys off balance. Lucas DeLuca right there sent that one over to shortstop. The always sure-handed Keith Candell was able to make that play and fire a strike over to first.
I think if we were to go down and ask Keith, he'll take that nice one-hopper right into the glove over anything soft.
Absolutely, I would think so. He doesn't have to come in on that ball. It's hit right to him. He can take his time and make a strong throw over to first to retire the speedy DeLuca.
2 gone here for De Los Santos in the top half of the third inning. Off-speed pitch catches the zone. 0-1 now, and doing a much better job this inning of working ahead. Another first pitch strike.
Liam Wilson was the batter that De Los Santos thought he had strike 3-2 and then walked in the first inning.
This one popped up out of play. And working ahead continues here for the Majors left-hander, 0-2.
Wilson only played 15 regular season games in 2019. If you include the playoffs where the Panthers went to the finals, he doubled that RBI total for the season, had 20 in both playoffs and regular season combined.
Oh, and that's the second time there De Los Santos thought he got that outside corner. Didn't get the call. It's 1-2, both times here against the same guy at the plate.
We talked about consistency, Noah. It's been consistent. Liam Wilson has had both of those pitches called as balls against him.
1-2 now. To the plate, off speed. There it is, called strike 3. De Los Santos gets the punch out, and the Majors will head to the plate here in the bottom of the third. Score till side at 0.
De Los Santos so far in this ball game has thrown a majority of his pitches as strikes despite the walks. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm just going to double check my stats here, does have more strikeouts than walks, which was not the case early in the game and throughout the game against Welland. So it's very good to see that he's been starting off on the right foot.
So the Majors here tied at 0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Hawk will head back out to the mound, it looks like, for the Kitchener Panthers, his third inning of work. He's kept his pitch count low, Dylan. We talked about how they're not going to go many innings tonight, these Kitchener Panthers pitchers, but if he can keep it relatively low, I would say under 50, they'll let him go as long as he can.
Yeah, we're not sure if he's got a pitch count or if he's got an innings limit tonight. Maybe he's hard capped on innings at 3, but if it's a pitch count thing, he's only at 24 through the first 2 innings of work. He's into the third inning. He's cruising so far, has not allowed a hit. If he's going at this rate, I think if you're the Panthers, you let him work, you let him get his work in. I'm sure that this is a little bit more than he's thrown, or this tonight will be a little bit more than he's thrown in bullpens to start the year. So if Hawk is cruising the way he has been so far to start this game, I don't expect a no-hit pace to keep up. But as long as he keeps that pitch count down, I don't see a reason for them not to let him ride.
Well, and especially he's been keeping the Majors lineup through the first 2 innings to relatively soft contact, right? They haven't hit a whole lot of balls hard. So if that continues and the pitch counts can stay low, don't be surprised if the Panthers will try to run this righty a little bit longer into the night.
I think that Byron Reichstein's line out or fly out to right field was probably the hardest contact the Majors have made so far tonight. Nearly hit that one out, but besides that, it's been a shutdown performance through 2 innings here for Hawk.
So the throw down to 2. We're ready to go here in the bottom of the third inning.
Leading off for your Majors, the catcher, number 7, Hayden Jaco.
It's Hayden Jaco here to lead off the bottom of the third inning for the Majors, a guy that's looking to try and get things going a little bit here in this season.
Yeah, Jaco leads things off. He's had a hit in every single game, but he's only had 1. He's looking for maybe a multi-hit game, get that back going so far early in the season.
Hawk here in the stretch, looking to work in the bottom of the third inning. Jaco to lead it off will take a strike 0-1.
It looks like it's a bit of an abbreviated windup. No, he doesn't go over his head, but he does step back. So he's got elements from that windup, but it's not a complete windup that he goes from.
Steps back, now comes in, off speed. This one hit hard over to short. On the ground, strong throw across will be in time to retire Jaco for the first out here in the bottom of the third.
We talked about the lack of hard contact for the Majors so far. That might have been the hardest hit ball yet, but unfortunately it was on the ground and right at somebody, so Jaco doesn't get on base. Now it'll be up to Keith Candell to do something. And we've talked about the Majors lineup and how they have guys that can get on base with speed at the top and bottom of the order. Here it's Candell and Philmon who have a chance to do that for the Majors. Get on, let the big guns drive you home, or even in this case, have maybe the contact guys move them over and get them in.
First pitch is there for a strike here. Keith Candell, Californian, digging in here at the plate in the bottom of the third inning. Takes that one outside. It's now 1-1.
Candell had 3 walks in the last game against the Brantford Red Sox. His first 3 plate appearances as well. So he started the game with 3 walks, then was retired 2 times to end it. Finished the night 0-2. Had a couple of stolen bases in that game as well.
Hawk grabs his sign on 1-1. Candell hits this one the other way, over to second, trying to run it out, but he's not going to have the wheels on this one. Score at 4-3, and the Panthers 2 gone here in the bottom of the third inning.
Look how Candell got jammed there just a little bit. Didn't make solid contact on that ball. It was hitting a bit of a tough spot between Wilson and DeLuca on the right side of that infield. DeLuca had a long way to go collect that ball, fired it over to first, and gets the second out.
So Philmon now to the plate with 2 gone. Facing Hawk for the first time will take a first pitch strike, 0-1.
Philmon 2 for 8 to start this season. Last played in Welland where he went 2 for 6 with 2 runs scored.
Oh, and a curveball that slips out of the hand there of Christian Hawk. It's 1-1.
Philmon took the first pitch because he wanted to see what Hawk was featuring. Took that pitch because he had to. It was behind him as it just slipped right out of the hand of Christian Hawk.
Hawk ready now. This one upstairs, 2-1. Wasn't sure if he was going to the off speed when it slipped out of his hand. But now he's got to work himself back into the count. It's 2-1 here. Majors 9-hitter, and Chris McQueen stands on deck. This one going to miss low and outside. 3-1 here to the patient Philmon. Looking to get on base, turn things over. Even with 2 gone here in the bottom of the third, Majors not out of anything if they can flip the order over. Hawk now, 3-1. This one fouled straight back.
After the first ball that got away from Hawk, it looked like he might have lost his feel of that ball a little bit for a couple of pitches there, but he finds it once again and gets Philmon to foul that one back.
Grabs his sign here. Hawk into the delivery on 3-2. This one hit hard, but well fouled down the third base line. We'll redo it. Do it all over again on 3-2.
Philmon coming out of Thompson Rivers University, where in 2019 he hit .352 with a .434 on base percentage and an .882 OPS.
Hawk shakes a couple off, grabs one he likes, comes to the plate. This one's hit in the air down the right field line, but it's going to slice and find its way out of play. Foul.
Good job by Philmon fighting that one off, as it's still a full count.
Majors crowd looking for something to cheer for here in the bottom of the third inning. This offense that's put up 35 runs in the first 3 games. Nothing but a couple soft groundouts so far in the ball game. This one going to miss, and it'll be a walk with 2 gone here as Philmon will reach and turn things over to the top of the order.
That'll be the first base runner for the Majors in the ball game, Noah, as normally we have the guys in the top and the bottom that can get on base. Hasn't quite happened just yet, as Adam Philmon is the first base runner for the Majors. Showed good patience there against Hawk, an arm he's never faced before. No prior experience against the Kitchener righty, but gets on base with a walk, and now he's a guy that does have speed. Philmon had a stolen base in the last game he played, and he can move it on the base pass for a big guy, and we'll see if he's on the move here. I know Rube Chanardad likes to employ the small ball.
2 gone, and he's got a decent-sized lead at the cut of the grass. McQueen squares around and puts one down beautifully to third. Not going to have a play. And that'll be a base hit for Chris McQueen on the bunt to put runners at first and second here with 2 gone. And just like we said, don't count the Majors out with 2 gone.
No, you cannot do that. Chris McQueen with a beautiful bunt single there. Just put it in a perfect spot. 2 outs. Nobody expects you to bunt, right? But Chris McQueen has the ability to lay a beautiful bunt down. That's exactly what we saw there. Put pressure on Whalen over at third base. Bobbled the ball. Could not come up with it to make a throw over to first base. Now there are 2 guys on for Humberto, and I wouldn't even put it past the Majors to employ some more small ball here to get the bases loaded, potentially a run home and 2 guys in scoring position for Byron Reichstein.
Hawk working with a little bit of trouble here for the first time in this ball game. First pitch right there as Ruiz takes it. It's 0-1. If he can find a ball into the outfield, he'll score 1. If he can find one into the gap or down the lines with McQueen's speed, he can score a couple.
Had a triple the other night against Brantford. Wouldn't put it past him.
McQueen's got a big lead with no one holding him on at first. Pitch outside. Ruiz will take it 1-1.
We talked about Hawks' very efficient pitching through 2 innings. If you look at the breakdown of pitches per inning, he threw 15 in the first, 9 in the second, up to 16, which is the highest so far in the ballgame here in the 3rd inning.
Grabs his sign. No check. Now a check to 2. Couple times, comes to the plate, and now I believe it's going to be Ruiz asking for time there, granted by the home plate umpire.
Yeah, double check there from Christian Hawk over on the mound, I should say. And Ruiz didn't like how long he was taking to throw that pitch. Wasn't quite comfortable. Needed to reset. Calls time. Gets out of the box.
1-1 here on the London Majors 2-hitter. Couple guys on, 2 out, and a 1-1 count. Pitch outside. Ruiz tells his guys on base to hold up where they are, 2-1. And Dylan, we talked about how this Majors lineup can be dangerous with 2 gone. You don't want to let Ruiz get on because Byron Reichstein and then the Majors' heart of the order is right behind him.
Absolutely. The run producers are coming up. You can't let Ruiz get on if you're Kitchener.
2-1. To the plate, Ruiz offers at it. It was outside, and I'm going to say he held up on that one. 3-1.
It looked to me, Noah, like he didn't swing. But at first glance, I thought the home plate umpire called him for a swing. But then he went over for the appeal at first base. I think the first base umpire got the call right. Didn't look from up here like Ruiz swung the bat. And the first base umpire agrees with us.
Caught off guard there. Looked like he was calling him on the swing, but worked in the Majors' favor. 3-1 now. This one called a strike as it catches the outer edge. 3-2 now.
That looked like it was off by a couple inches, but does not get the call. Ruiz now in a full count, can't go too far out of the strike zone. If it's close, he's got to go after it. But if it's too far, you can't overprotect. You got to protect the plate, but you got to know that you can get on base if you're patient enough.
McQueen and Philmon will be off here, and they are. This one hit on the ground. Hawk able to get a glove on it. Throw to one will be in time to get Ruiz, so the Panthers able to escape danger here in the bottom of the third. The Majors grab a hit, but that is all they will get. We will go to the fourth with the Majors and the Panthers tied at 0.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
Through 3 complete innings here at Labatt Park, it's London Majors Baseball on Majors TV. I'm Noah Smith, with me Dylan Baker, as always, and we welcome you here wherever you are watching from tonight here on our YouTube page. Thank you for joining us. Pedro De Los Santos, the Major starter so far, through 3 scoreless innings, struggled a little bit, falling behind guys, but I think he's figured it out, Dylan. Go right at these Kitchener Panthers batters.
Absolutely he has, Noah, and we saw it early on in the Welland game. He struggled with his command to start that ball game, but ever since after a couple innings, he was able to settle in, get strikes, and get these batters out.
First pitch is there for a strike, 0-1. As we work our way into the top half of the 4th inning. De Los Santos still working here as that one's fouled off down the line and into the first row of seats. Fans ducking and diving, doing anything they can to get out of the way. 0-2, though, more importantly here for De Los Santos.
De Los Santos can come with whatever he'd like to on this pitch here to Curtis.
Big off speed, just slipped out of his hand a little bit, missed up in the zone. 1-2. Grabs his sign from Jaco. This one hit on the ground. Candell will have to come across, and that one's going to squeak through his legs there. Had to come a long way up to the middle of the infield to make the play, and by the time he got there, lost it in his feet, and the Panthers will have a man reach here on what I'm sure is going to be scored an error.
Yeah, it was a tough play, though, for Keith Candell. If you go back and you watch what happened on that play, the ball took a hop off the mound, and Candell had to readjust. He was going to get there if it didn't hit the mound, but it hit the mound, got further away from him. Tough play for him to make. I believe it's been scored a hit, Noah.
So the hit will lead off the inning here for Kitchener, and now a first pitch strike. So Santos continuing to work ahead. Doing a fantastic job here against the Panthers in the last about inning and a half at getting ahead of guys. Gonna miss on that one, 1-1. Jet Jarvis, the batter here for Kitchener. Dos Santos looks to one, comes to the plate. This one fought off and fouled off. Down the line onto the warning track and fouled 1-2.
Johnson tried to get there and make that play, was close but unable to do so. Now De Los Santos will come after Jarvis with 2 strikes in the at-bat. And it seems that a lot of these top-of-the-order hitters for Kitchener have been taking on the first pitch because De Los Santos was wild when they came up to the plate the first time. He seems to have settled in. Maybe they should get a little bit more aggressive as the game progresses.
1-2 outside. Not an overly big lead at first. One of the pros of having a lefty on the mound here for London tonight. De Los Santos, of course, checking over there often. Looks again, comes to the plate. This one called strike 3, a delayed call, but it's right there. And the first out of the fourth will go via the punch-out.
I don't think there was any doubt that that pitch was going to be called a strike, despite the fact that the call was delayed from the home plate umpire. It was right there. Great pitch from De Los Santos. Throws Jet Jarvis, the batter, and now he's got the first out. A ground ball gets him out of the inning.
Still a runner on first, and as you mentioned, a ground ball away from getting out of this inning is De Los Santos. Pitch count up over 54 now. As this one's hit on the ground, Candell, it's short, has to come a long way to get it in time at 2, but they won't even bother going over to first. The fielder's choice in the second out of the inning.
Good play there from Keith Candell. Now, a lot of people might wonder why would he go to second base on that. It was going to be a tough, close play over there, but he had a better shot of getting the runner at second base with that long throw. His momentum was taking him away from first base. Would have been a very tough play to get the runner, Ethan Bapty, over at first base. So gets the out at second, unable to turn 2, but 2 outs, runner at first.
So Sherman now at the plate for Kitchener. 2 gone. Takes the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. 2 hits in the game so far for Kitchener. One of them coming to start this inning, but it's been De Los Santos countering and able to work his way through the inning. Now 2 gone and 0-1 count. Has a look, comes to the plate. This one hit on the ground. McQueen is going to have it. Takes it on a hop over to 1. Williams with the grab in time. And another good inning of work for Pedro De Los Santos as he will take a tie game into the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, it's been good to see from De Los Santos that he has settled in and he's come right after batters. If you look at the pitch count, 20 in the first, 16 in the second. That's higher than you'd like it to be. 16 is nice at around 15 pitches, which is your ideal amount per inning, but it's still a little bit elevated and he wasn't throwing a lot of strikes. He's thrown 72% strikes in the third inning, 75 in the fourth. He threw 11 and 12 pitches in those respective innings. The results are there for De Los Santos. He induces weak contact when he's around the strike zone with the stuff he's got. He's just got to make sure to be around the strike zone consistently if he wants to have continued success, because that pitch count was elevated to start the ball game. Now it's in a better spot as he's kind of settled down a little bit. But if he comes after batters, he's got the stuff to get outs.
For the London Majors, 3-4-5 to start this fourth inning against Christian Hawk, who we mentioned we weren't sure if he was on an inning cap, a pitch cap. They have guys in the bullpen here, so it's looking like at 43 pitches, they'll let him go out there and try to get a few more outs if he can keep the pitch count low.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like it's Hawk for now and potentially some different guys coming into the inning. It's definitely not a hard innings cap that he's got in this ball game. He is definitely on a pitch count, and he's maybe it's 50, maybe he's nearing it. We'll see how long he lasts in this inning, but it's something to watch for sure.
For Hawk, a guy that's been on this Panthers team for a couple years and in the league for a number more, is a guy that I think you let him go out there and he tells you when he's done, right? It's a feel thing for him. He knows when he's ready. He knows when it's time for him to, sit down for the rest of the night. And I think for him, I'd be surprised if we see him go longer than this inning, Dylan. I really would. But I think for Christian, he wants to get through the fourth.
I'm sure he does, but I think early in this season, it's important for the managers to make sure that their pitchers stay within that pitch limit to keep their arms healthy. So while normally I agree with you that Hawk would be able to tell you when he's done, I think early on in the season, Don Menard, the manager for the Panthers, would have a little bit less leniency with Hawk telling him when he's done.
Well, he's got a tough part of the order to get through if he wants to get through this fourth. Reichstein will lead things off here for the Majors. Flew out just in front of the warning track to right his first time up tonight. The lefty bat, of course, 1 home run so far, or 2 home runs on the season, pardon me. Hawk to the plate. That one taken for a strike by Reichstein. It's 0-1. It's Brownlee and Johnson behind him here in the fourth for the Majors. Off-speed pitch slipping, missing outside, 1-1. Reichstein hits that one hard over to second base. It'll get through and into right field. So a leadoff base hit for Byron Reichstein, and the Majors will have a man on to start the fourth inning.
Yeah, some solid contact there from Byron was good to see. It was going to be a tough play for DeLuca, but he didn't have as much time as he would normally if the ball was hit a little bit slower. It was hit hard and it got through.
The designated hitter, number 35, Cleveland, Brownlee.
Brownlee to the plate here with a man on, nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Popped it up sky high right on the infield. His first time at the plate tonight. And now with a man on, and it changes things how you have to pitch to Brownlee. Be a little bit more careful because a mistake won't cost you one, it'll cost you two. Hawk to the plate. Brownlee taking all the way on the first pitch. 0-1, fastball right there. Hawk looks over his shoulder, checks out Reichstein, comes to the plate. Brownlee swings right through that one. Quickly 0-2 here on the Major slugger.
I would expect breaking ball here if you're Cleveland Brownlee. He's known to have a tougher time hitting those breaking balls if they're placed in good spots. So I think Hawk comes right after him with a breaking ball here.
Got him in a good spot, got a couple to work with. The 0-2, this one drilled. Center field, tracking back and able to make the grab, a leaping catch. Brownlee retired and Reichstein scrambles back to first base. One gone.
What a phenomenal play by Andy Leader out there in center field. Cleveland hit that ball hard. It didn't have the height to get out. If he hit that to left field a little bit higher, it's definitely gone. That was a very hard play for Andy Leader to make. He ranged way back on the warning track, leaped up, and was able to grab that ball. And that's a huge out for the Panthers when it looked like it was going to be trouble. If that gets over his head, Byron has a chance to score. Obviously, he had to stay close in case Leader caught it, which he did. But that would have put the Majors in a much better spot than the one that they're in right now. And it's not a bad one at that, with a runner at first base and one out.
Williams the batter now. And Hawk still on the mound with one gone and a man on. First pitch, this one dribbled just out in front and takes a funny hop. Williams tumbles going to first, and that does not look good.
Doesn't look good there for the Majors as Williams went right down. That ball took a funny hop. The catcher went down, Don Mahoney, and then Williams fell right to the ground over on the first base line. So he is going to be out at first base. While at first glance it looked like he might have been able to get there. All of our attention and concern is with Josh Williams right now.
Dribbled that one right out in front of the plate, and not sure if he twisted something on his way down, Dylan, or what, but it looked like he was going to beat it out. Now all your attention here and all your worry, both sides of the field and everyone here at Labatt Park, just make sure he's all right.
A couple of Panthers staff out there, Roop Chanardad out there as well, checking on his player.
Slowly checking him out there, and a couple of Majors coming over to help him, bring over some water.
You can tell Williams is in significant pain over at first base, just laying there on the ground, talking to the staff from both sides as they try to figure this out.
We'll take a break here on Majors TV as we wait for the word on Josh Williams. No score here at Labatt Park, bottom of the fourth inning.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
Well, we welcome you back inside Labatt Park. A worrisome moment here at the stadium is Josh Williams, Majors slugger, first baseman in the ballgame tonight, down about 25 feet shy of first base on the first baseline, Dylan, and not a good look for the Majors fans here. And as I mentioned, everyone in the ballpark tonight, not what you want to see. And he's been slow. We haven't seen him get up yet. Lower body injury is what it looks like.
Yeah, we're not going to suspect too much because obviously we're not doctors. We're not down on the field talking to Williams right now. But he went down very quickly, and we're just trying to figure out if he's all right out there. He looks to be in some pain. Majors have training staff, and so does Kitchener out there, trying to help Williams out. It's not about picking sides right now. It's about concern for the well-being of Josh Williams.
2 hits aside here in the fourth inning. Labatt Park, no score either side. Only game going on in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. Rain out in Welland in the afternoon game, and now we will see Williams get to his feet.
Yeah, slowly looks like he's sitting up now and will get up very slowly as well.
Under the help and power of a number of teammates for the Majors, they'll try and get him off the field. He's up, but now the problem to get him moving, Dylan, and this does not look good. Like you said, we don't want to speculate. We don't want to try to think about what's going on there for the Majors and Josh Williams.
Yeah, it's taken a few guys to get him off the field. Of course, Josh Williams, one of the bigger guys on the Majors team as well. He's a tall guy. He's strong and not ideal for the Majors, both with his play so far this season and the kind of guy he is. He's a great guy, always has a smile on his face at the ballpark, and hoping he's going to be all right as they get him off the field.
Everyone out there, including the umpiring crew here for the Majors, knowing that taking your time here of the utmost importance. You got to imagine when Williams does get off the field, and Christian Hawk and the Panthers will take as many warm-up pitches as they need to get back into the game here after the long delay.
Yeah, Hawk's just been sitting for a little while now, hoping that Williams is all right, and he's probably going to throw a little bit before the game resumes.
Well, Dylan, we mentioned no games going on in the Intercounty Baseball League tonight. The Toronto Blue Jays postponed against the Texas Rangers earlier this afternoon. The game canceled, and of course the Detroit Tigers hosting the Minnesota Twins. That game tied at 3 in the top of the 8th.
A couple of teams that are having some tough seasons. No, the Tigers have been playing better as of late. They've got an optimistic future for them as they are in a couple of years into the rebuild. Twins are having a disappointing season, and they play today.
The Majors grounds crew now coming out with the vehicle to take Williams off the field, and this is not what you want to see for the London Majors. Josh Williams, as they will have to cart him off, unable to go off on his own power, the power of his teammates, and
looks like he's backing up on one leg onto the cart now.
Majors crowd will clap him off as Josh Williams will be carted off the field here, and We'll do our best to give you updates on it, but no promises anything will come in the next little bit here. Back to baseball, Dylan. As we'll keep Williams in our thoughts there. Doing well as he made his way down the left field line in good spirits, it looked like at least.
Yeah, as we return to the game, 2 outs in the inning now with Byron Reichstein over at second base. Byron, of course, a little recap, got on a hard single into right field, and then Cleveland Brownlee lined a hard line drive pretty deep into center field. Andy Leader was able to track it down and make the play, and then, of course, right there, Josh Williams hit a slow ground ball in front of the plate and was thrown out at first as he went down with injury.
So Julian Johnson to the plate now after the delay. And Dylan, what would be a better time to knock in a run here for Johnson? Try and get this crowd back into the game, lift those spirits.
Absolutely, not only for the crowd, but for the team as well. Everybody's definitely down that Williams is hurt.
First pitch missing low there from Hawk. 1-0 here against the Majors third baseman.
You know, we talked about Hawk likely throwing some warm-up pitches once the game resumed. He didn't do that, so we'll see if that affects him, if that little pause affects him here.
1-0 now. Swung on and missed. Big cut there from Johnson. Evens the count at 1-1. 2 gone here in the inning as mentioned. Reichstein stands on second base. Scoring position here if he can find the ball to the outfield. The 1-1. This one just off the plate. Hawk wanted that call, didn't get it. 2-1.
In fairness to the home plate umpire, he has not been given that call all night, so I'm not sure Hawk or De Los Santos can expect a called strikeout there.
2-1 now. Johnson digging in the right-hand batter's box. Hawk checks 2, comes to the plate. That one called a strike. 2-2. Just a little bit more inside. That one catching a little bit more of the plate. And now a big 2-2 pitch coming here.
Johnson thought he worked a walk in his last at-bat, but it was a called strike, and then he wound up grounding out.
The 2-2 swings through that one, and it's a strikeout for Hawk to get out of the bottom of the 4th inning. Majors unable to get anything here in the bottom of the 4th. 2 hits so far in total in the game, but we'll go to the 5th. Scoreless here at Labatt Park. You're watching London Majors baseball here on Majors TV.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
Dylan, you watching this?
I am. I'm very interested. I'm very invested in what's going on the field.
Do you think we can talk down and try to get down there ourselves next game?
I think so. I think we hand the headsets off to Jackson, and we go down there and we have a good time.
I think we'd be pretty good at that game. I'm not going to lie.
I'm pretty sure-handed out there. I know you've played baseball all your life. You're probably pretty sure-handed. I think we can pull this off.
Looks like a whole lot of fun. Welcome back, London Majors Baseball here on Majors TV. No score as we go to the 5th inning here at Labatt Park. The London Majors tied at 0 here with the Kitchener Panthers. Dylan, one defensive change, of course, with Williams going down to injury in the bottom half of the 4th inning. A defensive change coming in at first base.
Looks to me, Noah.
Looks like Evan Britt.
Yeah. Evan Britt looks like he's over there at first base now, taking over for the injured Josh Williams.
Majors not necessarily limited in the number of first basemen they have, but one of those being the DH tonight, Cleveland Brownlee. So they'll throw Britt over to first. First pitch there from De Los Santos, called a strike 0-1 to start the top half of the 5th inning.
They want a little bit of additional positional flexibility. Arturo Guzman can play third base, then Julian Johnson can slide over to his natural first base.
Strike called on the swing there, 0-2. De Los Santos looking to have himself a good top of the 5th inning. See his pitch count on your screen there, sitting at 61. 24 of those, I believe, coming in the first inning, Dylan. So he's really settled down here moving through this ball game.
Yeah, as the game has progressed, he's thrown fewer and fewer pitches per inning, and that's been a good sign. It seemed like he needed an inning to get himself settled in. Took him 2 today, and he's been working well.
The off-speed pitch going to miss, 2-2.
He's shooting for that corner, and he's not getting it, whether it's inside or outside, righty or lefty. He's not getting that pitch.
Dos Santos, this one going to come in and hit him there. Blank off the elbow guard, and he'll walk his way down to first base with a leadoff hit by pitch.
Yeah, that one just barely nicked Whalen at the plate, and he is aboard now for the Kitchener Panthers. So they've got a base runner here in the top of the 5th inning. It's the bottom of the order, turning it over to the top after Dan Mahoney. But we'll see if they're able to put a run on the board here in the 5th.
To the plate, that one missing in the dirt, 1-0.
As I mentioned, Mahoney, the number 9 hitter, leader on deck, is their leadoff man. So we'll see if Mahoney tries to square around again and go for another bunt attempt here on 1-0.
Not a huge lead at first. Squares around to bunt. It's over to the right side. De Los Santos going to have to get it bare-handed and in time. Fielding his position well there. Able to get it over to Brett, who came in for Williams. And sacrifice bunt for the first out here. We'll put a runner in scoring position, turning things over for the top of the Panthers order here.
It looked like it was a bit of a hard bunt there from Mahoney, and I think De Los Santos was a little bit surprised that Evan Britt didn't come crashing in as well. I think he was expecting McQueen to move over to first. Britt would come in and field that ball, so he hesitated for a moment, but with the catcher running, he had time, was able to recover, regroup, and make the throw to first.
A swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch to start the at-bat here to Andy Leader. He's got a runner in scoring position here with 1 out. The Panthers looking to try and be the first team to push through and get on the scoreboard.
Leader 0 for 2 with a ground out and a pop out.
This one hit on the ground over second base. McQueen, strong throw in time. It's Britt with the stretch and 2 gone.
Good stretch there over at first base from Evan Britt. De Los Santos tried to nab that ball with his bare hand. Couldn't reach it. It goes right to Chris McQueen, who's perfectly positioned. He throws over to first for the second out of the inning. That does move up Stephen Whalen to third base after the sac bunt and then the ground out. So it'll be up to Lucas DeLuca to try and cash him with 2 outs.
Whalen 90 feet away. And DeLuca will take the first pitch called to strike 0-1.
DeLuca thought that one was a little bit low. So far in the ball game, the Kitchener second baseman has struck out looking and grounded out to shortstop.
The 0-1 outside. Evens the count up at 1-1. Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe this is the first time we've seen a runner at third base in the ball game tonight.
For either side, yes. We've had a runner at second for the Majors for sure, and for the Panthers. They had first and second. First time anybody's gotten a third, though.
Panthers looking to cash him. Off-speed pitch. Called a strike. Catches the outer part of the zone, and it's 1-2.
Great start to this at-bat if you're Pedro De Los Santos out there. Runner at third base, 90 feet away from scoring a run, but 2 outs. He's doing a good job of coming right after DeLuca. We'll see if he's able to finish him off.
Got a couple pitches to work with here on the 1-2 count. De Los Santos, leg kick to the plate, fouled off by DeLuca. Will take its way out of play. Continuing on here at 1-2. A slight breeze moving through the ballpark now, but not a whole lot. 1-2. DeLuca awaits the pitch from De Los Santos. This one hit in the air, center field. Couple steps over to his right, and that one's going to be caught by Philmont to end the inning. So the Panthers will grab a base runner, get him all the way over to third base, but they won't be able to get him across. And the Majors will get on the sticks in the bottom of 5, still tied at 0.
Yeah, Majors have a good chance to get some runs on the board. It'll be the bottom of the order. Hayden Jaco, Keith Candell, and Adam Philmon due up for the Majors. Looked to me right there, Noah, as if Lucas DeLuca got under that pitch, and it was hit shallow to Philmon. He had to get after it to make that grab. It looks as well as if there is a new pitcher out there on the mound for the Kitchener Panthers, and we will get that to you as soon as we are able to do so. I believe that's Adam Robertson out there now, the lefty.
Going with the lefty after Hawk, the righty, started the ball game and was able to get through 4 scoreless innings, allowing just the 2 hits for the Majors. And now Robertson will come into, we can only imagine if he can, give the Panthers another couple innings out of the bullpen and get them to the later stages of this ball game.
We talked about the likelihood of Hawk pitching 3 innings. He pitched 4, which I'm sure is more than they expected of him, but a welcome sight for the Kitchener Panthers. Now he turns it over to the bullpen in a good spot. I mean, it's no score. He kept his team in it through 4 innings. I'm sure he would like to pitch into the 5th, have a chance for the win, but it's not looking like that so far. He's not pitching into this 5th inning. It'll be Robertson out there on the mound. And you look at Adam Robertson in his career, where he was before this. Robertson, I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. I don't have numbers on Robertson as of right now. I thought I did, but he's pitching now for Kitchener, that's for sure.
Well, I can tell you what, it's the first game of the season for Kitchener. Hasn't pitched yet this year. That is one thing we do know, but the lefty will come into the ball game here to try and get the Panthers through a number of innings. Bottom of 5, you'd like to see him get through bottom 5, bottom 6 if he can. See what else he can give you here. We knew coming into the game, we talked to Tom Menard, we talked to the Panthers, the team, their staff. They were looking to try and get through this game using 2, 3, at most 4 pitchers, and they're off to a good start so far.
Absolutely they are, and like we mentioned, I mean, I think the 4 innings is longer than they expected to get out of Christian Hawk, and I'm interested to see if Robertson can get a couple of innings here for the Panthers and hopefully give them some more distance that they can use another reliever, maybe in the 8th or 9th inning if possible, if he's able to pitch 4 innings like Hawk was.
Robertson to the plate here as Jaco will take a swing at the first pitch he sees and foul it out of play. It's 0-1. Jaco to lead things off, and right behind him, Keith Candell. Philmon will be the 3rd man to bat here, bottom of the order. 7, 8, 9 for the Majors. Robertson up high, 1-1. Once again, working from the stretch here, Robertson, as Jaco drives this one. It's going to get into the gap. Cut off nicely there at center field. Jaco with a big round of first, and he'll hold him at first base with a long single to lead off this inning.
Great solid contact there from Hayden Jaco. We talked about him probably wanting to get a couple of hits in this ball game. That's his first one today. Great job by Andy Leader. We've seen a defensive display from Andy Leader out in center field tonight. First tracking down that line drive hit off the bat of Cleveland Brownlee, and then right there coming over to cut that ball off. He could have taken the easy route, gone to play it against the wall, but he was able to cut it off and hold Jaco to a single.
Candell squares around but pops up the bunt. It'll go foul.
Not super surprising, Noah, that the Majors are trying to employ the sacrifice here to move a runner over, just like we saw the Panthers attempt to do last inning. They did so successfully to move him over. They didn't end up cashing him in. Candell trying to get the runner over here and turn it over to Adam Philmon, who awaits on deck.
Well, when the hits aren't coming in bunches, why not try something else, some small ball? Candell squares around again, gets this one back to the mound. Just going to go to 1 as the throw in time to get Candell. The sacrifice works for the Majors. And now with Philmon coming to the plate here, they'll have a runner in scoring position.
Boy, I know that a sacrifice bunt, typically you just take the easy out at first base, but that ball was bunted right back to the pitcher, and it was bunted pretty hard. I think Robertson had a shot at getting the out at second base if he wanted it.
So now Philmon will come to the plate with that runner standing at second base, represented by Hayden Jaco. Philmon was able to reach his first time through the order. Now he takes that first pitch inside, 1-0.
Worked a good walk there in his first plate appearance, I should say, to get on base.
1-0 here as Robertson will stare in for his sign and get it. Checks back at Jaco at 2. Now comes to the plate. That one's there for a strike on Philmon, 1-1. Philmon, we mentioned the walk back in his first at-bat in the game. I'm sure the Majors would love for him to just reach any way he can again. Pitch off speed. That one catches the outside edge, and it's 1-2.
Philmon's got to protect now on 1 and 2, trying to get that runner over, doing whatever he can to do so. Get it onto the right side of the infield on the ground so that Jaco can move up to third base.
Robertson grabs his sign on 1-2 once again. Comes to the plate off speed, fought off, and that one's going to drop down the line. A fair ball. Jaco will round, and he is going to score easily. And the Majors, the first to punch through here in the bottom of the 5th.
Good job by Adam Philmon there for the Majors, just fighting that pitch off, blooping it down the right field line. It got in on his hands, but he was able to muscle it into right field. Jet Jarvis had to track the ball down the right field line, and he was able to do so, but not in time to throw out Jaco, who got a great jump on that ball, saw it was going to drop. There was question for a moment whether it would go foul or not. It did not, and that allowed a run to score for the Majors, who are now up 1-0. A pivotal first run in what has been a pitcher's ball game.
So McQueen now, as we roll it over to the top of the order. Philmon gets a look over to him over at first base, but the pitch outside, 1-0. Takes us to the bottom of the 5th inning to get the first run across. And as we've talked about throughout the course of the season so far, Dylan, it can be the bottom of the order that can do that for this Majors club.
Any part of this Majors order can get something going.
McQueen now over to the second base side. Nice play to get him in time. Score at 4-3. Second out here of the inning as McQueen, the ground out victim, able to move Philmon over to the second.
Looked like a bit of a miscommunication there from Liam Wilson and Lucas DeLuca as they both went after that ball. Nearly had nobody over at first base, but Wilson was able to recover and get back to the bag in time to get McQueen.
Humberto Ruiz now. Still a runner in scoring position if he can find a ball into the outfield. First pitch there for a strike. It's 0-1. Majors with one across so far in the inning. Looking to try and make it 2. Reichstein stands on deck here for the Majors if they can extend the inning. Pitch to Ruiz up high. 1-1.
2 hard ground balls that ended up in outs for Humberto Ruiz to start this ball game for him. If he can get a ball past the infield on the ground, he could score a run.
Robertson now. Leg kick to the plate, fouled straight back by Ruiz.
Where do you think that would have hit, Noah, if there was no screen there?
Not us.
Not us?
Nope. I don't think it had enough juice on it.
Yeah. Came back pretty quickly, though.
Maybe our cameraman Matthew might have been able to get out of the way of that one. 1-2 here. Robertson to Ruiz as he grabs his sign, leg kick to the plate. This one fought off, fouled into the Panthers dugout, and I don't think the catch was made. Looked like he dropped it.
You'd think a baseball team can, make that play, but
it's tough. It's tough, I tell you. Catch the ones you're not expected to, but those ones you want to. Could be the toughest ones.
Could have caught him off guard as well in there.
The 1-2 pitch hit in the air, center field, but on a line it's going to hang up. And that will be the final out here of the bottom of the 5th inning. The Majors able to grab a run here in the bottom of the 5th. They lead 1-0. 1 run on 4 hits so far in the ball game. We will go to the 6th here on MajorsTV. Dylan Baker on the call when we return.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
Welcome back to Majors Baseball on Majors TV. The Majors, after just scoring in that bottom of the 5th inning, lead this ball game 1-0. Pedro de los Santos back out there for the guys in pinstripes. It's been a pitching and defense game so far, Noah.
He's done a fantastic job. It has been a pitcher's duel. Despite the Panthers going to their second arm of the ball game, both starters had a fantastic start. De los Santos still out there for the Majors going into the top of the 6th here. I want to highlight that pitch count once again here, Dylan. 73 is, I believe, what De Los Santos is at. 24 that was coming in the first inning, if you remember that. So he's done a fantastic job to 2, 3, 4, and 5 to keep the pitch count down.
He's been minimizing the amount of pitches he throws in innings, and that's been a key reason as to why he's still going. He's got a tough test here in the top of the 6th inning, as it's going to be the heart of the Kitchener Panthers order. It'll be Liam Wilson, Elliot Curtis, and Jet Jarvis, 3, 4, and 5. The pitch to Wilson is in the dirt for ball 1.
I haven't seen any action down in the Majors bullpen yet. You wouldn't expect it with De Los Santos only at 73 pitches. But you'll watch if the Panthers are able to get some guys on here after Majors grab the lead if they do.
Pitch is inside, and it'll hit Wilson, so it'll be the second hit batter for De Los Santos. A reminder, he hit 3 last weekend against Welland a week ago today. It's the second one he's hit today against Kitchener.
And just what the Panthers need if they're looking to get their first run across after surrendering the lead in the bottom half of the 5th. The Majors leading 1-0. Now they're looking to try and get a run across with a leadoff man on the top half of the 6th.
You get on any way you can when you got to score some runs as Elliot Curtis steps up. He's struck out swinging and then singled to Keith Candell. He had that ball that hit the mound as that's going to miss just high, I'm going to guess, for ball 1. Look over at first. The pitch from De Los Santos on the ground in the hole. It's going to get by as it was hit hard into left field. Humberto Ruiz will scoop that up and keep Wilson at second base, but the Panthers are pressing early here in this inning with 2 runners on.
Yeah, that's a routine ground ball if you have nobody on base, but with the runner on first and the infield having to play kind of up the middle there to try and turn 2, Candell not able to get that one. And for the Panthers, what a start here to the top of the 6th inning. 2 guys on, and fairly quickly as well.
Yeah, Jet Jarvis with a great opportunity to drive home the Panthers' first run of the season. And like you mentioned, infield playing double play positioning, double play depth, and that's why Candell was not able to get to that ball. De Los Santos gathers, comes set. The pitch a square around to bunt from Jet Jarvis. That's foul. We talked about Jarvis's speed at the top of the ball game in the pregame show. He hasn't had a chance to put it on display yet.
Yeah, he'll square around, I imagine, again on 0-1 for a sacrifice bunt. But with that speed, it's not really a sacrifice. He can get on base with it as well if the Majors aren't able to field it.
Johnson, De Los Santos, Jaco all have to be ready if Johnson does crash. Fake run over at second base, and now they've got him hung up. The throw, not in time as Candell couldn't get back there in time. Jaco threw that just a little bit off the base, and the runner gets back to second.
Jaco having conversation now with the home plate umpire. That one's going to move the count to 1-1. I think if Jaco is able to throw that one to the bag right away and Candell hustles over, they have a shot at him, but these 2 guys, of course, not working together for a long time.
Bunt there from Jarvis, goes to third base. It gets under the glove of Johnson, and Jarvis is going to beat this one out. Johnson charged that bunt, and it just got under his glove. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out.
That's going to be a tough play to make over at third. You have no choice but to be quick, and he was quick. He just couldn't get it in his glove. And now the bases loaded with nobody out here for the Panthers. We'll finally see at least some guys getting stretched out down in the Majors bullpen, but for De Los Santos, these 3 guys are his problem right now.
Ethan Baptiste on the mound, on the ground, back to De Los Santos. He will come home after hesitating, and Jaco has no other play. De Los Santos looked to third base, then realized he had to come home, and they get the runner there, so the run doesn't score, but only 1 out.
That is just what you want if you have the bases loaded and nobody out. For De Los Santos, it's just a simple mistake, but it's not the worst thing in the world. He gets the out, nobody scores, and now you're still a ground ball away from getting out of this inning.
De Los Santos into the windup. Here's the pitch. That's outside for ball 1 to Evan Sherman.
There's 1 out here in the inning, and De Los Santos, if he can get some soft contact, would love a ground ball to get out of this.
The pitch, checked his swing, doesn't matter. It's a called strike from De Los Santos to Sherman. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike now on the Panthers' number 7 hitter. De Los Santos into the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Sherman on the ground, foul. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
For De Los Santos right now, after the mental mistake that might have cost you an out, pick this one up yourself. You got a 1-2 count. Go to the off-speed, see if you can get a swing and miss here for the second out of the inning.
The 1-2 from De Los Santos on its way. Sherman swings and foul tips it right into the glove of Hayden Jaco, and that'll be the second out from De Los Santos on the strikeout.
Does exactly that, picks up the strikeout, a big one at that, probably the biggest one of the game so far for the Majors lefty. And now they're just an out away from getting out of this huge jam. And if they can, momentum totally in the Majors' favor.
Absolutely would be with the run having scored in the previous inning. Bases loaded. If De Los Santos can get out unscathed, that's huge. A tough opponent in Stephen Whalen coming up to the plate for Kitchener. De Los Santos will take time to gather himself, set himself up to face this batter over behind the mound. Whalen so far in the ball game is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch and popped out to Humberto Ruiz in left field, as De Los Santos now begins his walk back to the mound.
Taking his time to get ready here to face off against Whalen. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Just what you want if you're De Los Santos.
Into the windup. Here's the first pitch to Whalen. In there for a called strike 1. So 0-1 to Whalen, the number 8 hitter. De Los Santos very close to working out of this one after it didn't look so nice to begin the inning. That's fouled right off the leg of Stephen Whalen, and it's 0-2 now.
And that throw going out into center field.
The ball's dead because it's a foul ball as the runners tried to move up.
Always got to stay on your toes.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to capitalize where they thought they could, but no dice there.
0-2 here is, looks like De Los Santos wants a new ball.
After it rolled across the grass and the dirt of the infield, I can't say I blame him.
Big 0-2 pitch coming here for De Los Santos. He's got a couple pitches to work with, and don't be surprised if both him and Jaco are thinking outside the zone here, Dylan. I'm thinking off-speed outside.
Here's the pitch from De Los Santos. It looked like a fastball to me, Noah, and it was fouled straight back. Count remains 0-2.
Like I said, lots to work with here. The 0-2 count, you can afford to miss a couple.
I would think that fastball sets up an off-speed pitch away now on the 0-2 count. Into the windup goes De Los Santos. The pitch, and there it was, but it was too far outside, and Whalen didn't bite, so the count moves to 1-2.
Whalen, a patient hitter. He knows he's got to protect with 2 strikes, of course, but if there's a guy that's seen De Los Santos before and knows what he's going to expect, it's him.
The pitch is on the ground to second base. McQueen going to have to come in. Hits off the lip, makes the play. Throw to Britt over at first base. Stays on the bag, and the side is retired. So De Los Santos ran into some trouble, but he gets out of it, Noah.
What a job there by De Los Santos to work out of trouble. You got the bases loaded, nobody out. It's one of the worst feelings as a pitcher. Believe me, I've been there a lot. But he's able to work out of it, stays calm, gets the ground ball he needs, gets a strikeout, and then another ground ball. No really hard contact in the inning there, but he gets out of it, and the Majors retaining their 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's huge for the Majors as De Los Santos was able to get out of that inning. We talked about the ground ball right back to him. It could have probably had a double play, been out of the inning sooner. Didn't get it. Stayed calm out there on the mound and was able to retire the next 2 batters to get out of the inning unscathed.
Adam Robertson will be back out there for another inning out of the bullpen here for Kitchener. Trailing by just 1 run, bottom of the 6th inning, as night falls here on us at Labatt Park. A gorgeous night for baseball, as we've touched on a few times here tonight. And a good crowd out here at Labatt Park. I think we've touched on it already in the ball game, but we might be over what we saw last Friday night here at Labatt Park, and they're enjoying a 1-0 lead. Yeah,
it's possible we are, and they're definitely enjoying this ball game. It's a beautiful night. I think people saw the forecast, and while things can change very quickly, they took the chance on coming out to this ball game, and it has not disappointed so far. It's been a good game. It's been a close game, and the weather has been perfect for a ball game.
Big part of the order here coming for the London Majors in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And we'll see if they can push some runs across.
It was the heart of the order for the Panthers that started at the top of the 6th, and it'll be the heart of the order for the Majors. Is 3-4-5. Reichstein, Brownlee, and now Evan Britt is Josh Williams, is out of the ball game. And we are just about set to bring you the action here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
I don't want to say it works in your favor for the Majors. Obviously, you hate to lose Josh Williams, one of the best bats in your lineup. But with the Panthers bringing in a lefty, Britt, of course, the righty at the dish, you have the advantage after you get through Reichstein that you have Brownlee and then Britt, 2 righties.
Yeah, you would think that the matchup plays in favor of the Majors with Britt coming up after Brownlee as Robertson looks in for the sign from his catcher, Dan Mahoney. Byron Reichstein digs in. Here's the pitch. And that hits Byron right on the elbow. So first pitch of the inning is going to be a hit by pitch, and Byron is aboard. That's a good start if you're the Majors.
Yeah, a great start. It came and took a very big bounce. And if you're hearing that and seeing that, it was off his elbow guard, not off the bat. Of course, Byron wearing that for that reason, so he can just let it hit him, take his base, and just like that, the Majors will have a man on.
Man on now for Cleveland. Brownlee as Byron's got to get ready to run. Cleveland's made some solid contact so far in the ballgame, but unfortunately for him, it's just been at people.
Well, Dylan, and now he's got a chance against the lefty and Robertson with a man on.
We'll see if Cleveland, the big righty bat, can feast on the lefty. The pitch from Robertson, Cleveland taking all the way, it seems, and takes a called strike 1. Thought it was high, and that's Cleveland for you. He'll smile back at the umpire and give his thoughts.
Big Cleveland smile. He says, you can call that a strike. I'll be ready to go for the next one.
0-1 getting set on the mound is Robertson. Here's the pitch. Cleveland flails at that pitch, took something off of it, and it's 0-2.
Just what you want if you're Robertson on the mound. You get ahead of a batter like Cleveland Brownlee on 2 pitches. One you get a call on just like you want, and the other one you make him way out in front of an off-speed pitch. And big 0-2 count now. We'll check on Reichstein and come to Brownlee.
The 0-2 from Robertson to Brownlee. Cleveland checked his swing. It was high, and they won't even appeal it as it's going to be ball 1 to Cleveland. Looking in is Robertson. He'll come set out there on the mound. Here's the pitch. It's high to Cleveland once again. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like the approach was to throw the high fastballs, high pitches with 2 strikes to Cleveland. And so far, it's been 2 balls. It's 2-2.
2-2, and they have pitches to work with. When you get ahead 0-2, and Brownlee have said this before to other guys in the lineup, but now at 2-2, you don't have to come right at him, but you're probably going to.
And that pitch bounces about 10 feet away from the plate, so it's going to be ball 3. Count moves to full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and that's a count that's more favorable to Brownlee than the previous one.
And don't expect him to give in to Brownlee here, although he has a 3-2 count. You don't want to walk him, but it's better than leaving one over the heart of the plate and letting him feast.
Absolutely. If you're Robertson, you'd rather take your chances with Britt than Brownlee, who can change the complexion of this ballgame with one swing of the bat. Give the Majors some insurance runs. The 3-2 pitch is in the dirt. Ball 4. So Cleveland works a walk after being down 0-2, and now the Majors will have 2 base runners for Evan Britt.
Britt coming to the plate here. We mentioned he came into the ball game as a defensive replacement. Josh Williams went down to injury, and now he'll get his first at-bat of the ball game.
I believe this is his first at-bat of the season as well, Noah, as he looks down at the third base coach for some signs. We'll see if he's asked to square around. The third baseman, Stephen Whalen, playing at the edge of the grass just in case. Here's the pitch. He will square. He'll pull back as that pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1, and that's 5 straight pitches now, Noah, that have either sailed too high or been spiked into the dirt from Adam Robertson.
And don't be surprised here if Britt not necessarily gets the red light, but he's got to pick the one he wants. We know he squared around to bunt, but he's got to make sure that's close as well, and now a balk.
Yeah, balk gets called on Adam Robertson, and that's going to move the runners up. So the Majors now have 2 runners in scoring position. Second base umpire was right on top of that. You could hear him say, balk, that's a balk, as soon as he did it. And now completely changes this at-bat, as Britt is definitely not going to be squaring around, and now has 2 guys in scoring position.
Britt drove in 5 in 25 games in 2019.
Here's the pitch from Robertson. Britt swings and misses for strike 1. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. Julian Johnson, the big righty bat, on deck. Looking in is Robertson. He's got Cleveland at second and Byron at third. He comes set out there on the mound. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Britt. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Just out in front of that one, Britt is. I think he might have been looking for something a little bit harder. Fastball coming into the zone. He didn't get it. Robertson took a little bit off that one, it looked like.
Yeah, it looked to be a little bit slower than the previous one. He'll look in. Get the sign from Mahoney. Here's the pitch. Curveball did not break, and it's 2-2 now.
As you mentioned, Johnson on deck. They have that open spot over at first, but Britt, of course, the defensive replacement utility man here for the Majors. You want to go right at him.
I wouldn't load the bases for Johnson. It's about to do some damage. Britt hits that one on the ground to third base, shortstop rather. It'll score a run, and it's bobbled, so everybody's going to be safe. The Majors score their second run of the ball game on a ground ball to shortstop. We'll see how that one's scored.
That was going to be a tough play, and right in between the shortstop and the third baseman, they converged and unable to make the play. Britt will get on base and, more importantly, score the second run of the ball game for the Majors. But don't look now. Still 2 guys on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is the spot, Dylan. This is the inning. This is the at-bat where the Majors need to distance themselves a little bit, see if they can grab another 1, 2, maybe 3 runs in this inning.
Looks like the matchup should favor the Majors with Johnson at the plate. He hits that one on the ground, right side in the hole. It's going to be scooped up by DeLuca, throws to second in time to get Britt. So a good play by Lucas DeLuca with nobody over at first base. Throws to second, gets 1 out, and that'll be the first one of the inning.
Yeah, that is a fantastic heads-up play over there by DeLuca at second base. He has to wait. Britt's in front of him when he's getting that ground ball, and I think Britt actually did a little bit of a sidestep on his way to second base. I don't know if that was to get out of the way of the ball, maybe try to distract DeLuca, but it actually cost him in getting to second base in time as he was thrown out by a fraction for the first out of the inning.
A very close play over at second base. It was in a tough spot for DeLuca, and Wilson went after it as well, so nobody was at first base. DeLuca made the right play, threw over to first. Here's a spot for Jayco to do some damage. 1 out runner at first. You want to keep the ball off the ground here if you can on the infield. You get it in the air into the outfield. There's a chance Cleveland scores. Obviously does not have the speed he once did, as that one's low for ball 1. But Jayco a chance to put the Majors ahead by 3.
And Jayco, a guy we've talked about, really looking for a multi-hit game tonight. He's had a hit in each ball game so far this season, but multi-hit game would really help him.
That's in the air to center field and deep. Back goes Leader towards the warning track. He will make the catch. Cleveland tagging. He will score. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Hayden Jayco, and the Majors lead 3-0.
Heck of a job there by Hayden Jayco. It's not that second hit we were looking for, but it does the exact job you need to. And let's be honest, Cleve, that's about one of the only parts of the ballpark you can hit it where he might score deep to center field. And the Majors grab themselves, as you mentioned, Dylan, a 3-0 lead.
So 3-0 lead, and that'll bring up Keith Candell for his 3rd plate appearance of the ball game. Had a ground out and a sacrifice bunt in the previous 2. Pitch from Robertson. Candell hits that one high in the air, foul territory. After it, Wilson and Mahoney. Wilson under it, and he's going to make the catch in the big foul territory of Labatt Park to retire the side. The Majors get 2 big ones here in this inning. They lead by 3 as we head to the top of the 7th.
Visit MajorsTV.ca to learn more. Your London Lakers next home game is next Friday, July 23rd at 7:35 against the Wellington Jackets. Tickets can be purchased online at londonlakers.com.
Welcome back to Majors Baseball on Majors TV. We're in the top of the 7th inning at Labatt Park, and the Majors are up 3-0 after a couple of insurance runs were just scored in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, just what the Majors needed, picking up 1 run in the bottom of the 5th inning, 2 in the bottom of the 6th. And now for De Los Santos, who's back out to the mound here at just 89 pitches. Got some insurance.
He does, as the first pitch is a called strike from De Los Santos to Mahoney, the catcher. 0-1. The pitch from Pedro, that's going to miss inside. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. You'd think this is De Los Santos' last inning if he keeps up on the pace he has been with the pitch count per inning. The 1-1 is going to miss as well, so 2 balls and 1 strike from Pedro. He's at 93 pitches here through 6 innings, plus 1 batter now.
We've seen some action just getting loose down in the Majors bullpen. Nothing that would lead us to believe that anyone would come in this inning unless he gets into any trouble.
The 2-1 is in there on a good off-speed pitch. It'll be a called strike 2. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Kitchener catcher. The 2-2 home from De Los Santos is low for ball 3, so the count moves to full now on Mahoney as some guys are stretching out over there. Looks like a jacket just came off. Could be some action in that Majors bullpen this inning.
Yeah, we've talked about De Los Santos now. Although he's been efficient, has walked some guys, he's hit 2 tonight.
Here's the 3-2, that's outside ball 4. I believe that's the 3rd walk from De Los Santos, and that provides a base runner for Kitchener.
And that will probably get the bullpen at least up and stretching at a little bit more of a pace here in the top of the 7th inning. De Los Santos now getting close to that century mark, 95 pitches in the ball game. Majors have some options down in the bullpen. We've seen Farrington a couple times this season. Of course, they still have some other arms down there that we haven't seen yet this year.
Yeah, the only 2 relievers we have seen are Connor Ambrosio and Braden Farrington. As De Los Santos looks Mahoney at first, and here's the pitch to Andy Leader, the leadoff man, and that will miss outside. Leader 0 for 3 in the ball game.
And don't worry about not seeing these guys get into the games. They'll have their chance. Of course, the Majors seeing some rainouts earlier in their schedule. If everything goes as planned, they'll have 4 games over the next weekend.
That's on the ground to shortstop. Could be 2. Candell to McQueen. Over to Britt at first. Not quite in time, as despite the stretch from Evan Britt, they will only get 1 out, as Leader is able to beat that one out.
A little bit of a hesitation. I don't even know if it was a hesitation or just trouble getting it out of the glove for Candell at short, and that split second, fraction of a second is all it takes. And they're not able to get the runner at first, but able to get the lead runner at least for 1 gone here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, with the speed of Leader, a split-second decision or a split-second error like that cost the Majors 2 outs there. The pitch from De Los Santos misses for ball 1, so it's 1-0 now to Lucas DeLuca.
DeLuca back up again here for the Panthers. Of course, he's at the top of the order.
Here's the 1-0. That is going to miss low as well, or I don't know where the first one missed, actually. 2 balls and no strikes now on DeLuca.
A couple of good-looking pitches there, at least from our angle up here in the press box by De Los Santos, and I think judging by his reaction, he wanted at least one of those.
The 2-0, and there's a called strike. Press box umpires get that one correct.
I think we're pretty good at being press box umpires.
I would think so. Looks like you've got a more centered view than I do, so I expect your calls to be more accurate than mine. De Los Santos looks at first. The 2-1 makes a move over, and it gets away from Britt. That's going to move Leader up to second base. Britt gets after it in foul territory. I don't know if that hit Andy Leader's leg, but it was off to the side, and Leader moves up to second base. No, I thought that was very close to being a balk from Pedro De Los Santos, it looked like.
It was an interesting pick move, that's for sure, and it's the first time that we've seen De Los Santos go to a pick move tonight. With all the runners he's had on first base, it's the first time we've seen the move, and he ends up throwing it away. I'm not sure if it hit anyone, not sure if it just was a little bit wide of the base. Maybe Britt wasn't totally ready for it. Nonetheless, it's going to put a runner in scoring position here, and just 1 gone. It also takes away that force out for a double play.
So runner at second with 1 out. The 2-1 pitch from De Los Santos is there on the outside corner for strike 2, as that'll be an error charge to De Los Santos on that pickoff attempt. Looks in for the sign from Hayden Jaco. DeLuca ready in the batter's box. The 2-2 home from De Los Santos. Line drive to left field. Ruiz is playing in, and he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And Ruiz was very shallow, and that's what allowed him to make that play.
I know the fans are cheering, Dylan, but you take a deep breath on those ones as Ruiz coming in there. Looked like he stumbled a couple times, able to make the catch. Because if that one gets past him, not only does a run score, but you're looking at another runner on second, possibly third. But he's able to make the grab in the second out of the inning. A big one there for the Majors and a big one for De Los Santos, who now sees his pitch count up over 100 at 103.
Looked like DeLuca kind of just slapped that ball into left field, and Ruiz, luckily for him, was playing shallow and was able to make that play as there's a called strike one on the outside corner. It's 0-1 as the action picks up in that Majors bullpen.
De Los Santos, of course, we've been watching that pitch count. He threw over 100 pitches his last outing.
The 0-1, that's on the ground to second base. McQueen will play it, bobbles it a little bit, throws it over to Evan Britt at first base, and Liam Wilson is retired. So De Los Santos threw 7 scoreless, Noah, and I think that's a better outing than the one he had last week where he allowed 1 over 7.
A fantastic job and 2 fantastic starts for him. We're not going to write him off just yet. He might be heading out there for the 8th. We haven't seen the handshake yet, and still no one warming in the London Majors bullpen. But here at the stretch, as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Majors holding on to that 3-0 lead, and a fantastic pitching performance by Pedro De Los Santos.
Yeah, De Los Santos has been very, very good so far in this ball game. We talked about the walks in the last one. So far in this one, he's had 3 walks, but that's less than he had in the previous game. He's been attacking hitters more.
Looks like we're going to see another new arm out there for the Kitchener Panthers. Saw him warming up last inning, and now coming into the game, I believe, Ryan Douglas, righty. So they go righty, lefty, righty.
Just trying to mess with the Majors lineup, I suppose.
Of course, the Majors picking up their runs against Robertson. And another Wilfred Laurier arm here as Douglas comes into the ball game.
Douglas actually has his, I think it's his brother. They could be unrelated. I haven't done that research yet, but Jacob Douglas also listed on the roster. He did not go to Laurier, went to Fort Hays State University. It's actually there this year.
Dylan, look at the dancing out there. Why can't we dance?
I think we can dance.
Just don't turn on the press box camera, and we can dance all we want.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it doesn't get thrown back up to us, we're good.
I know that would be used against us in the future. No doubt about it. Doing a good job of getting this crowd into the ball game. A good crowd here at Labatt Park as fans happy to see Majors baseball back in the Forest City. And we can't blame them one bit as the Majors enjoying a 3-0 lead here against the Kitchener Panthers. Throw down there, and Douglas will get ready to face off against Filma on the bottom of the order here for the Majors before they turn things over in the bottom of the 7th.
Filmon steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 1 so far in the ball game. He walked in his first plate appearance, then had a pop single that scored the first Majors run, Hayden Jaco, from second base. And so the Majors up 3-0. Ryan Douglas out there on the mound, and the first batter he gets to face is the number 9 hitter, Adam Filmon, who will look to turn things over with the runner on, hopefully, for the top of the order.
He's done a good job at that so far tonight, at being that guy that isn't an out in the 9-hole, can turn the order over, bring up the top of the order with more guys. And Dylan, we said we weren't seeing any action down in the Majors bullpen, but we are after De Los Santos exited the game at well over 100 pitches.
Pitch to Filmon on the ground in the hole. Going to be a tough play. Wilson gets over, flips to Douglas over at first base, and that will be the first out of the inning.
Back to the bullpen. It's Mike DeLong warming up here for London. Which will be his first appearance of the season. Warming up with authority, I'd say. It looks like he's getting ready to go into the ballgame, Dylan.
I would believe so as well for that 8th inning. Talking to Roop Chanodad, he was hoping to get Mike DeLong into the ball game today for his first appearance. Was hoping to do it near the end of the game, and it looks like that's the way it's going to go with De Los Santos pitching 7 scoreless for the Majors as Chris McQueen steps up to the plate. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Into the windup goes Douglas. Here's the pitch. McQueen squares around a bunt. Bunts that one hard but foul. It's 0-1.
I was just going to say, you can't rule out the bunt here with McQueen with one out in a 3-0 ball game. He's a guy that loves to lay it down, and if he catches you sleeping, he's going to do it.
Oh, yeah, he'll take full advantage if you're not paying attention over there at third base. Third baseman Whalen is in on the edge of the grass as Douglas looks in for the sign from his catcher. We'll see if McQueen squares around here. I'm sure he's got the freedom to do so. Doesn't look like he's going to. Swings away, pops that one up into foul territory. After it, Whalen tracking towards the Majors dugout, now pulls up and makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Queen, after squaring around there, taking a cut at the 0-1 pitch and popping it up. That's 2 quick outs here. Bottom of the 7th inning as we move along, and now Humberto Ruiz will have to try and extend the inning a little bit. As we mentioned, Mike DeLong getting ready down in the Majors bullpen. Looks like he is ready to go. And although we haven't seen the official handshake yet, I would imagine that it is the end of the night for Dos Santos.
You would think so with where his pitch count is at as Ruiz hits that one into the air into center field. Leader moves under it, makes the catch, and it's a 4-pitch inning for Ryan Douglas as he sets the Majors down 1-2-3. We're headed to the top of the 8th where Noah Smith will be back on the call for you on Majors TV.
Welcome to Labatt Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Don't miss your chance to walk the same field as some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts inside the original clubhouse. Book your tour at labattparktours.ca.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park here as we welcome you up into the press box. Noah Smith, Dylan Baker calling the action here tonight. And Dylan, a 3-0 Majors lead here is a fantastic pitching performance by Pedro De Los Santos. Looks like it will continue.
Yeah, it looks like it. Noah De Los Santos has come out for the 8th inning. We'll see how long he lasts in this 8th. We'll see if he's able to finish the inning or if he's just going to go for a couple of batters. But he is out there to start this 8th inning. We thought it would be Mike DeLong coming out of the bullpen for the Majors as he was warming up. Wasn't quite ready, and De Los Santos back out there.
De Los Santos, his pitch count well over 100. He's got to have, either a really quick inning or he's going to maybe face 1-2 batters at max, I would think.
Yeah, and he threw over 100 pitches in his last outing against Welland. I think he was up around 108. So it's possible he could go over that 108 mark today, but he is sitting at 105 right now as he comes out for the 8th inning.
So we go to the 8th here in London. De Los Santos back out onto the mound here for the Majors, who are enjoying a 3-0 lead here in this ball game. 3 runs coming on 5 hits. 2 errors for the Majors as well. And De Los Santos looks like he wants this ball. And although he is at 105 pitches, he's going to try to work through the 8th.
And like we said, Noah, who knows if he's going to be able to work through the entire 8th inning, but he's going to give it his all here.
First pitch missing outside there from De Los Santos, 1-0. DeLong ready to go if needed here in the 8th inning. Short leash, we would imagine, for De Los Santos, is that one missing up and in. Count goes to 2-0.
Elliot Curtis, the batter for the Kitchener Panthers. He's 2 for 3 in the ballgame. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat, then a single to Keith Candell, and then a hard single to Humberto Ruiz his last time up. So it seems like he's getting a read on De Los Santos as the game progresses. 2-0 now on him.
That one missing upstairs, 3-0. And De Los Santos not off to a good start here in the top of the 8th inning.
De Los Santos up at 59% strikes today out of all of his pitches, which is a significant upgrade from the last game.
And there's another one, 3-1. As he's able to work his way back into the count here. Has to come right at him. That one is not. Ball 4 here. A 5-pitch walk. We'll have the leadoff man on in the top of the 8th for Kitchener.
As Curtis will get aboard, so the Panthers will have a base runner. It looks like Mike DeLong is ready in the bullpen. It seemed he was just standing there waiting to see the De Los Santos pitch, now throwing a little bit more. I'm interested to see how long Roop Channerton lets his starter go here if he's unable to finish this 8th inning. He's got a runner on. He's at 110 pitches. He's pitched a great game so far, though.
This one called a strike. It's 0-1 here. De Los Santos working ahead in the count. And I get you want to let your man go, but still just a 3-run ball game here in the 8th inning. This one on the ground, going to be a tough play to turn 2. Just running him down, and he'll have to go take the forced out at second. As McQueen over to Candell in time to get the out. Called a fielder's choice in the first out of the inning.
Yeah, with Jet Jarvis's speed, with how slow that ball was hit, there was no real shot at turning 2, if you ask me, Noah. And McQueen was just trying to decide whether he was going to tag the runner, Elliot Curtis, at second base, or if he was going to throw it to second. Once Jarvis was aboard, all he had to do was just throw it over to the bag, and that was going to be the first out. And
really a great job by Elliot coming across there to not run into the tag and give them a chance at the double play. There for a strike as De Los Santos gets ahead 0-1.
Yeah, going back to that play, good job by Curtis not running into that. Because if they had thrown it to second base, they had no shot at 2. But the tag gives them a chance, and Curtis didn't allow them to have that.
This one hit on the ground. It's going to be over to third base. Nice scoop over at 1 in time as Britt with the stretch for the second out. Picking up his third baseman, and the Majors quickly 2 outs.
We've talked a lot about Johnson's defense to start this season. Right there, made a nice play on the run and then threw it in the dirt, but Britt was able to make the play, scooped it, and picked up his third baseman for the second out. Although there is a runner in scoring position, a much better spot for De Los Santos, who is now 1 pitch closer to ending this 8th inning.
Pitch count at 1-13 for De Los Santos, who's now an out away from getting through 8 innings. First pitch there for a strike. It's 0-1. Panthers have a runner in scoring position, though. You got to be careful here as the later innings move on. It's just a 3-0 lead here for London.
Still a close game.
The 0-1. There for a strike as well. As the lefty gets ahead, 0-2. 2 gone in the top of the 8th. De Los Santos, check, back to 2, no one holding him. Comes to the plate, this one hit on the ground, but foul over to third base for Johnson. They'll have to re-do the 0-2.
De Los Santos, 6 strikeouts through 7 2/3 so far in this ball game. 4 walks as well. I think that's what we're going to get from Pedro De Los Santos all season. He'll strike guys out, but he'll also walk some guys. Doesn't have phenomenal command out there on the mound, but he's going to give you a great start. He threw 7 and allowed 1 run in the last game. He's through 7 2/3 scoreless here with 2 strikes on Evan Sherman, the number 7 hitter for Kitchener.
He's been doing a fantastic job at getting out of trouble when he's gotten into it. You just hope that he can continue that. If he's going to continue to walk guys, he's got to continue to get those bigs out, and he's done a good job here. Now he's got an 0-2 pitch. To the plate, low, blocked by Jaco, and put the count at 1-2.
117 now the pitch count for De Los Santos.
One of the pros of having a guy that isn't throwing over 90 out there is that he can possibly go a little bit longer into the ball game. Pitch 118 of the night is swung on and missed. It's a strikeout for De Los Santos to end the inning. 8 scoreless for the Majors starter tonight.
Phenomenal outing for Pedro De Los Santos in this ball game as Roop Channerdat gives him the handshake, tells him his night is over. He was everything Roop could have asked for in the ball game today. He dominated for 8 innings. He ran into some trouble at times, but got out of it just as quickly. He was working quickly. He was confident throughout the ball game and got 7 strikeouts, walked 4 batters, didn't allow a run. He's only allowed 1 in 15 innings now this season. That one came against the Welland Jackfish a week ago today. So it's been a great outing for Pedro De Los Santos, and it looks like it is now complete.
If that is the end of the night, as we imagine it will be for De Los Santos, 8 complete innings, giving up just 3 hits to the Panthers and no runs. Had some trouble with walks, but he was able to find his command, get some big outs when he needed them. And Dylan, for me at least, that is highlighted by the bases loaded inning where he escapes with no outs and is able to work out of that jam.
Yeah, that calm demeanor that De Los Santos has out there on the mound is so huge, and I think that's what powered him through that tough spot, because it was, to put it as less than ideal might be an understatement. The Majors, I believe, had just scored a run, and he was put in a very tough spot. He put himself into a very tough spot. He walked a guy, I believe he hit a batter as well, and the bases were loaded with nobody out, but he worked out of it. He could have had 2 to start the inning. He couldn't make the right play, only got 1 out. That still didn't even rattle him, and he stayed focused on the task at hand, which was to get out of the inning. That's exactly what he did. He got out of it unscathed.
So the Panthers now going to the bottom of the 8th inning, still trailing by 3, and we'll have to try and sit down this Majors club heading into what we've called the big part of the lineup for the Majors. Of course, their whole lineup has been swinging the bats well to start this season, but it's Reichstein, Brownlee, and then Britt. 1, 2, and 3 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
So we saw one Douglas in the 7th inning, Noah, and that's a different Douglas out there now, as that's Jacob Douglas for the Kitchener Panthers. Douglas spent a little bit of time this season at Fort Hays State University. He's been there for the past 2 years. This year he pitched in 5 games, 5 innings, a strikeout, and 4 walks in his career. He's got 2 saves, 12 appearances. One of them was a start, 1 and 2 with a 5.29 ERA.
The right fielder, number 22, Byron Reichstein.
Byron Reichstein to lead things off here on the bottom of the 8th inning for the Majors, looking to add on to this 3-0 lead they are holding on to in the 8th. Reichstein's hit the ball hard a couple times tonight, and will look to try and do the same here and possibly get himself in a position to give the Majors some extra insurance runs heading into the 9th inning. It'll be Douglas he's facing. Ready on the mound, lefty at the dish to start off the bottom of the 8th inning. Douglas to the plate, first pitch going to miss low, 1-0.
Byron so far in the ball game, 1 for 2, lined out very deeply in the first inning, and then has a single and was hit by a pitch.
Gets on this one into center. Going to be a tough play. He can't make the grab. Able to keep it in front of him, and Reichstein on with the leadoff base hit. Hitting another one hard tonight.
Yeah, it's another ball hard. No, you talked about it there. The first one was hit hard. The single was hit hard, and right there it was hit hard as well. A line drive into center field. Andy Leader, it looked like he wanted to slide, was a little bit late, and dropped the ball.
Cleveland Brownlee now to the dish for the Majors, with Reichstein on to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning, and now Cleveland, who's been able to get a couple hard hits tonight, will look to try and crack his way into the hit column. Swinging at that one, and in the dirt, Reichstein will advance to second. Brownlee looked like he was expecting something else, but swung at that off-speed pitch. It's 0-1.
Yeah, Cleveland was not sitting off speed there, as that one got right under his bat and right under the glove of the catcher, Dan Mahoney there, and that allows Byron to move up into scoring position. That's a huge insurance run over there at second base for the Majors. It puts it into a grand slam would be needed to tie the game territory, whereas right now it's just a 3-run homer that would do it.
The 0-1, here's Douglas, checks, and now comes to the plate. Brownlee will take it. It's now 1-1.
Good job by Cleveland there, not worrying too much about that first pitch where he swung and missed badly. He wasn't too concerned about having to protect, having to get himself back into this and do something big. He took that pitch right there, 1-1 the count.
Douglas will grab his sign and do a quick check. Back to Reichstein at second. Leg kick comes to the plate. Brownlee taking that one, 2-1. He's come back to him with a couple fastballs, but not a good location for Brownlee to take a swing at it.
Brownlee hasn't liked what he's seen from Douglas so far, and I'm sure he didn't like that first pitch, but he did swing at it.
Looking to try and find a ball into the outfield to score Reichstein and give the Majors their 4th run of the ball game. Delivery inside. Brownlee will take it now, 3-1.
Cleveland has already walked in the ball game. He was down 0-2 in that walk at bat. Worked his way back to get on base. He's now up 3-1 in this count. Either Douglas comes after him with a pitch, but he does have an open base, and Britt is on deck. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland gets nothing good to hit here on 3-1.
Base open for Brownlee on a 3-1 count. Here's Douglas to him, and Brownlee crushes that one. Left field and into the night it goes. Cleveland Brownlee again, his first at home of the season, and no doubt about that one.
We talked about not going after Cleveland on 3-1 there. There was a runner. There was a base open, I should say, Noah. Nobody was at first base. He didn't have to throw Cleveland a strike. Instead, he gave a pitch he could handle. And boy, did Cleveland do that. Absolutely destroying that ball into the darkness, into left field, into the bushes. Cleveland got every ounce of that baseball, and now a huge advantage for the Majors. They're up 5-0 in this game. Great insurance there. All he needed to do was single after Byron moved up, and he did more than that, and the crowd was pumped.
Evan Britt will have to follow up a Cleveland Brownlee moonshot to give the Majors a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now Britt hits this one on the ground. Tough play over at third on a hop. Strong throw across the diamond in time to get Britt, who was stretching over at 1. There's the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning. Johnson to the dish now with one gone.
The third baseman, number 8, Julian Johnson.
Johnson looking to break his way into this ball game. He's had a couple of swings that he'd like back, but see if he can get a hold of one himself with one gone. This looked like he was a little bit behind that one. It's 0-1.
Johnson's seen a lot of off-speed pitches so far throughout the ball game, both from Hawk and the relievers that have come after him. It looked like he was sitting off-speed on the first pitch there because that's been the trend against him in the ball game. Got a fastball and wasn't quite ready for it from Douglas.
Swings through that one looked like the off-speed pitches he's been getting all night long. It's 0-2.
Yeah, tough for Johnson to make contact with that one after he was late on the fastball, then gets a nasty off-speed pitch, 0-2, and now Douglas can pretty much do anything he wants. He's shown the fastball, he's shown the off-speed. We'll see what he comes with.
0-2 here. Johnson looked like he tried to hold up. They're going to say he went around on the appeal, and it's a strikeout here. So a couple of quick outs after the Brownlee home run. 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Douglas has done a good job bouncing back from that Cleveland Brownlee home run. As it's easy to get rattled after a home run like that one that gets the crowd into it like it did. It opens the game up a little bit, but he got a first pitch out to Evan Britton. I think that helped calm him a little bit, getting that out so quickly, and then is able to retire Julian Johnson with a 3-pitch strikeout. Looked like Johnson came very close to holding up, but didn't quite get it, as it'll be a swinging strikeout, and that'll bring up Jaco.
First pitch to Jaco is going to be inside, taken for a ball, 1-0. That Brownlee home run, 5th run of the ball game for the Majors, 40th of the season in 4 games.
It's crazy. 4 games. They've been averaging 10 runs per game so far.
Pitch inside and a little bit high on Jaco, 2-0. Of course, vast majority of those coming in the first 2 games of the season. That can't take away the 7 runs they put up in Brantford, and now the 5 tonight. Ready here now, pitch to Jaco. That one inside, 3-0 to the Majors catcher.
Could tell that Mahoney behind the plate wanted that pitch for his pitcher. Did not quite get it as it missed inside to Jaco. Very similar pitch to the first one of the at-bat that Jaco took for ball 1.
Douglas ready here as he grabs his sign for Mahoney. Now comes to the plate. That one going to miss. 4 straight balls to Hayden Jaco, who will jog down to first base with a walk on base tonight.
Jaco in the ball game today, Noah. Grounded out, then singled, had a sacrifice fly and a walk. So overall, he's just 1 for 2, but has had some good at-bats in the ball game.
Yeah, I know we talked about him needing to get a multi-hit game to really kind of boost his morale, if you will. He knows he's a good hitter, but sacrifice fly, a walk, It's a good game for Jaco.
Absolutely it is, coupled with that single, and he's been having a good ball game.
Douglas working here with a pair of outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Majors lead now up to 5. Pitch inside. Candell able to get out of the way of that one. Take a deep breath and get ready to go here on 1-1.
Not sure what's going on with Douglas after 2 quick outs following the home run. He threw 4 straight to Jaco, and that one wasn't close either after he did throw a called strike to Keith Candell to start the at-bat.
Candell hits that one hard and foul. Just barely down the third base line, and it's 1-2.
A couple feet foul, it looked like, for Keith Candell. It was very, very close. It was pretty clearly a foul ball, but could have almost been a double that might have scored Jaco down the left field line. He hit that ball hard.
So now a 1-2 count. Douglas trying to work out of this 8th inning. Pitch now. Candell swings right through that one, misses, and the strikeout will end the inning. But it's the big man, Cleveland Brownlee, with the home run. 2 runs here in the inning. The Major is now leading 5-0. We'll take a break here. You're watching London Majors baseball on Majors TV. We go to the 9th here at Labatt Park. Majors enjoying a 5-0 lead. As you get a look there at the crowd here at Labatt Park, enjoying this 5-0 lead.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the crowd is having a good time, especially after that Cleveland Brownlee insurance home run in the bottom of the 8th inning. And obviously it's fun for the crowd. It's big for their entertainment, but we can't really understate the importance of those runs for the Majors. That gives Mike DeLong a comfortable lead to work with. We talked about wanting to get Byron home to make it a 4-run game. Cleveland did us one better and hit one out of the ballpark to make it 5-0.
Yeah, it takes away the save situation, but you don't care about the save stat. You'd rather just get this win. And if that means adding 2 insurance runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, I'm sure DeLong is going to be happy with that. Now, he's got an extra cushion to work with going into the 9th inning here. It's his first appearance of the season, right? If you can have a bigger lead, you'll take it. And the Majors give him that lead. It's 5-0 going to the top of the 9th inning. And Mike DeLong coming into the ball game after De Los Santos goes 8 strong. Scoreless innings here at Labatt Park on a Saturday night.
I didn't think that De Los Santos was going to come back out for the 8th, but he did, and he did a great job.
DeLong's first pitch there for a strike. 0-1 here as the Panthers down to their last 3 outs of the ball game to try and get something going. They have no runs, 3 hits so far in the ball game.
Whalen was not sitting off speed there as DeLong threw him a first pitch changeup, it looked like, and he had to hold back on the swing.
DeLong now fires the fastball outside. The 1-1 count coming here to Whalen. We'll look to try to be the man to start the rally for the Panthers. 1-1. That one outside. 2-1.
Looks like DeLong has some good movement on that fastball there as it sliced outside to both with the first two pitches to Whalen. First two fastballs, I should say, as the first one was an off-speed. Last pitch with the Majors in 2018.
Grabs his 2-1 sign from Jaco. Off speed, going to drop it in there on the outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes here.
Looks like there's a significant difference between that fastball and the off-speed. Like, yeah, obviously you want different speeds, but that is a huge drop-off.
Fastball blows it by him. Strike 3 there as DeLong grabs the punch out. 1 gone here in the 9th.
Ball gets thrown away on the throw around there, but I like that sequencing from Mike DeLong and Hayden Jaco as they threw an off-speed pitch to start him. It caught Whalen off guard. Could go to anything next. Threw 2 fastballs, missed them. Throws an off-speed, which he knows he can get over for a strike, and he did right there, and then blows a fastball right past him. I think they did a great job attacking Stephen Whalen there for the first out of the inning.
So DeLong will work here with 1 out. First pitch outside, 1-0. One gone already here in the 9th, and the Majors looking to close out this ball game. The off-speed drops in there from DeLong. And, oh, what a great off-speed pitch. I know you mentioned the difference in speed. And if he can just drop those in there after throwing the fastball, he's going to have success.
Absolutely. Showing he's got confidence in it, going back to it in hitters' counts.
There it is again. This one a little bit more juice on it. Strike 1 and 2 now.
Mahoney kind of looked back like, what do you want me to do with that pitch? It's so much slower than the fastball, and it's so unexpected from DeLong, it seems. He's doing a great job of throwing it so far.
The 1-2 fastball right there doesn't get the call, and he was doing his strut after that one, but did not get the call from the home plate umpire. We talked about the consistency. Hasn't called that one really all night. For the right-hand pitchers on the right-hand batters, that outside corner, it's been consistent.
Yep, absolutely it has been, Noah. It's been a ball all night, and DeLong didn't get the call there, 2-2.
This one fouled off on 2-2. Will go out of play. Fans running after that one to see if they can catch themselves a 9th inning souvenir.
Looks like a pretty big chunk of these fans have stuck around to the 9th inning. I know it's been a pretty quick ball game so far, but a lot of them are still at the ballpark and chasing down foul balls in the 9th inning.
Enjoying a 5-0 Majors lead. The 2-2 off-speed hit on the ground. Candell at short will watch this one into his glove. The throw across the diamond in time as Britt makes the squeeze, and now 2 gone here in the 9th inning.
You know, if we sound pretty surprised by what we're seeing from Mike DeLong, we haven't seen him throw yet this season, you and I, Noah. We went to a practice earlier on, and we didn't see him throw. And we haven't seen him in a Majors uniform since 2018.
Yep.
So that slider right there was a great pitch. It induced weak contact. The off-speed can not only get called strikes, it can get swings and misses. It can induce that weak contact that we just saw. The fastball looks lively. I think Mike DeLong has had a great debut so far.
First pitch going to miss 1-0 here as he's looking to try and have a 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning. He'll ask for a new ball first. And he'll get that ball from the home plate umpire. London crowd who's stuck around tonight will look to try and see if the Majors can close this one out, looking for the final out of the ball game.
Looks like that pitch just missed high from DeLong.
DeLong 1-0 here. Grabs his sign from Jaco, comes to the plate. It's the fastball missing low. He's kind of wondering where that strike zone is. Of course, Dos Santos pitching the first 8 innings of the ball game. DeLong into the ball game just trying to figure out where the zone is. He's only faced 2 batters. 2-0 here. Drops the curveball in there, and always good when you can drop the 2-0 curveball on him.
Yeah, unexpected pitch leader, because you think he's got to get a strike. You'd think he goes fastball, but DeLong is not shying away from that off-speed pitch. It's been a very successful option for him.
2-1 here. DeLong, this one. Hit in the air, left field. Hanging up there, Ruiz running after it. That one's going to drop fair. No catch as he's on top of it, and it's going to go down as a double here with 2 outs in the 9th.
Tough play there for Humberto Ruiz on the line. He was shaded a little bit towards left center, a little more off the line than you typically expect him. Had a long way to go to track that baseball down. He nearly made the catch. I thought he had it for a second. It looked kind of awkward when he made the play or attempted to, and the correct call was made. It was dropped, and that's going to be a double for Andy Leader as Ruiz slowly walks back to his position. Adam Filmon will go check on him. Now Roop Chanardat will as well, just making sure that that their left fielder is all right.
And it looks like he is, Dylan, as Ruiz back up to his feet and ready to go here with 2 gone. It was going to be a tough play. That one hung up, and judging by the reaction of the crowd, they thought that one was hit a little bit further than it was and landed about 6 feet to a foot inside the line.
And they've called it I think there's some disagreement here between the umpire. Is the umpire calling it a foul ball? Leader was headed back to the plate. There's some confusion. The home plate umpire sent him back to second base. The third base umpire, it looks like, called it a foul ball.
And now we have all sorts of confusion here at the field. And Dylan, that is not going to go down as a double.
Humberto with a great effort. But yeah, no, not a double there for Andy Leader. It looks like he's going back to the batter's box. And the umpires just couldn't get on the same page there. They figured it out now, and Leader's back at the plate with a 2-2 count.
So now instead of the 2-out double here for the Panthers, they'll have a 2-2 count, and Mike DeLong will look to try and shut the door. 2-2 pitch. This one fouled off. Will get out of play. Britt chasing him, but it's going to go over top of the grandstand, out of play, foul ball.
2-2 count. I wouldn't be surprised if DeLong tries to bury an off-speed pitch. He's gotten it over for strikes, but Leader's going to be looking for it now on 2-2.
2-2, fouled straight back, and he's right on that one.
That was a fastball there from Mike DeLong, and Leader was right on it. I think now you've seen that he's on the fastball. You have the good off-speed. You come with it on 2-2.
This crowd of what looked like over 1,300 trying to cheer on Mike DeLong. Off-speed pitch, strike 3, gets him swinging. And the Majors, 5-0, final score. 4 straight wins to open the season. And this one, once again, in front of the hometown fans. Majors, 5-0.
Great ball game for the Majors. Great ball game all around. The offense, it took them into the 5th inning to get on the scoreboard, but they did. They score 5 in today's game. They win it 5-0. A great performance on the mound from Pedro de los Santos, going 8 innings after no one really thought he could, with that pitch count being where it was. And then Mike DeLong comes in for the 9th inning, a very well pitched 9th inning, and he had success there for the Majors, closing the door.
The Majors holding and completing the 5-0 win here on home soil, a game that was rained out Friday night. They play it here in front of a boisterous Majors crowd at Labatt Park. And Dylan, they take home the 5-0 victory. Who is your player of the game tonight? I'm going to go with Pedro de los Santos. 8 strong innings, no runs allowed, and another fantastic start for the Majors left-hander.
Absolutely. You stole my player of the game, Noah, so I'm going to go with Cleveland Brownlee then. Hit that home run, and it seemed like it might not have been a big spot because the Majors were already up 3 runs, but that's huge, getting those insurance runs, putting it out of reach where one swing of the bat could tie the game. They would have had to get a couple of runners home and get a home run to tie it, so it was going to be a very tough deficit for Kitchener to overcome. That home run was hitting a big spot, and I think it was a huge play in the ball game, and that's why Cleveland is my player of the game.
So the London Majors, 5-0 winners here over the Kitchener Panthers. They'll win 4 straight ball games to open the season. A fantastic start to the season for the London Majors, who are looking like the team that Rup Chanardet's been trying to assemble for years now, a team that can hit and a team that has fantastic pitching.
Yeah, the pitching has been phenomenal so far. We've only seen 2 pitchers because of the rained out, 2 starters, I should say, because of the rainouts that we've had, which has allowed these pitchers to be on regular rest and on good rest to pitch these ball games. Owen Boone and Pedro de los Santos have both been phenomenal to start this season. They've both limited the runs they've allowed. They've been workhorses going deep into the ball games, so they've had a really good start to the season. The bullpen's been good. And the third reliever we've seen, Farrington, Ambrosio, and now DeLong, all have had really good performances. And the offense, we've talked about it over and over and over, 40 runs through 4 games, and the pitching has been shutting down offenses.
So the Majors, another win tonight on home soil. We thank you for watching with us wherever you've been watching on Majors TV on YouTube. The Majors, 5 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, the final line there. No runs, 3 hits for the Kitchener Panthers. Thank you for watching with us tonight, whether you've been watching at home, wherever